Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Live from Atlanta Motor Speedway, we bring you the DSR Electric All-Star Race in the DSR Electric Truck Series. It is week number 11. It's an all-star race, but it's all for points. A new format tonight as these drivers take on the high-banked 1.5-mile oval in Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Tyler Damon, being joined here shortly by Wesley Outland, as well as Dean Hopton, Dean Biggles in the production booth up here, making sure we have all the sights and sounds for you tonight with all the action from the high-banked, fast 1.5-mile track in Georgia. Tonight, though, all-star race, completely different format than what we've seen in the past, but we're looking at right now track conditions. It's going to be in the low 80 degrees, a little bit of humidity, but we're starting in the morning. The session will transition. It'll get hotter. It'll get slicker throughout. We're going to look at the schedule real quick as we continue on here in the DSR Electric Truck Series pre-race. We got only 4 more races until the end of the regular season after tonight, and they're all the Dash for Cash events. Kansas, Bristol, Indianapolis Oval, and Daytona International Speedway. Dash for Cash drivers will be set tonight based off of, I believe, the points after tonight. So the top 4 drivers and the points. So look for that. And now we can actually point out your top 4 in the standings that will select your Dash for Cash drivers. Right now, Brady LaBeouf and Hunter Parsons are points neck and neck at about 443. Hunter Parsons is 420. Cole Hendrickson, though, he had a strong showing. He's up to 425 points. These drivers have a lot on their minds coming here into Atlanta Motor Speedway, but there's some new opportunities tonight. We'll have 4 stages of action that gives an additional 10 potential points. As now Wesley Outland, I believe, is joining me here in the booth. Wesley, a much different feel this all-star race has here tonight at Atlanta. Stage number 1, only 25 laps. Stage 2, continuing under green, ends at lap 55. Stage 3 ends at lap 85, and then all the way to lap 140 to the finish. It's going to be a handful for these drivers, managing tires, managing fuel, managing traffic, as these drivers will be nose to tail for 140 laps in the hot Atlanta sun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Welcome to NASRA's All-Star Night here at the new Atlanta Motor Speedway, obviously the super speedway version after the track was repaved. You know, we've done previous races on the old Atlanta, and I'm a fan of old Atlanta, honestly, Tyler, but I love the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're going to talk about super speedway atmosphere, the side draft, the bump draft, 2, 3, 4 wide racing. No doubt about it. That's going to be a premium here tonight in the All-Star race presented by DSR Electric 250. I know the top says 200 miles, but it's 250 miles, 140 laps the distance. And again, as we emphasized on, and Tyler, you just hit on it, 4 stages of this race. And I think that's also going to be something we're going to be watching strategy-wise in this All-Star event. Oh, and here's another kicker. In years past, the All-Star race, non-points, as it should have been. Now, to build the cart count up, to have a better turnout, it is a points race. And if you win this All-Star race, Tyler, you go to the playoffs. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Here's a look at the standings right now going into week 11.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a thing is it has improved the car count. In years past, most all-star races for NASCAR, you'd be lucky if you got 20, 25 drivers. Most would take off. But now we have over 34 drivers turning qualifying laps and a bunch of drivers unable to turn qualifying laps. Field's looking to be about 40 strong this week, Wesley. And like you mentioned, the 4 stages, but stage 2 continues under green. We're not going to have a caution break after stage 2 finishes, kind of similar to the road course race we had 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis. But you look at those standings, if you're a driver 21st on back, this is an extra opportunity for you to either gain stage points and get yourself inside that top 20, or on the other hand, instead of trying to gain stage points and get inside the top 20, win the race, put yourself into the playoffs, lock yourself in. This is a very unique opportunity that these drivers have here tonight.
And no doubt about it. We're going to look at the schedule again. You kind of hinted on it a few minutes ago, but we'll look at it again. And we got 5 exciting races coming up because, as you mentioned, in addition to the All-Star race tonight at Atlanta, we go to Kansas, we go to Bristol, we go to Indy, we go to Daytona. And this are the final 4 races before the playoffs begin. But honestly, it's also a dash for cash race. And Tyler, there's more money up for grabs, like what the Xfinity Series does in NASCAR, to make it more of an incentive for these guys to come to the track.
Exactly, right. And that extra payment, it goes out and it's only for those 4 drivers that are eligible. Each week, the eligibility will change. For the first race, it'll be whoever the top 4 in points are, I believe, after tonight's race.
Yep.
But after that, it's just going to be the top 4 eligible drivers. So those are charter drivers only that finish in each respective race. So obviously, next week, we'll see the first 4, but then the week after that could be a completely different 4 set of drivers depending on how the results play out, as the starting grid is ready to go here in Atlanta.
That's exactly right. Let's give you the starting lineup. I'll give the first 6 rows for the All-Star race. It's Chris Blanchard and Cole Hendrickson making up the front row. Christopher Tate and Hunter Parsons make up row number 2. Lance Miller, Timothy Hammond, row 3. Chris Cinnamon, our friend of the North in Canada, makes up row 4 along with Stephen Gregory. Joey Stiers and Nate Maurer, row number 5. Joey Doucette and Adam Letty will be the top 12.
Looking back throughout the field, Jason Morales for Highline Racing. He'll have Fred Lester is outside in row number 7. Row number 8 has Jose Luis Rivera, a former race winner this year, as well as Stephen Thomas, who almost got the job done at Iowa last week. Row number 9 will have Dana Shepard and Jeffrey Johnson, his outside. Rounding out row number 10 will be Adam Newton, Brian Chu. Row 11 will have Kerry Tribute and Robbie Richards. Kerry Tribute winning at the Indy Road Course. And row 12 will have Akami Proctor with Steve Barnett on the outside.
Move on to the next rows here. Of course, it's going to be the driver, Jason Stevenson, Blake Lothe in row 13. Kevin Battering, Phil Pappas, row 14. Chris Kynes and Ron Hunter will make the top 30. William Martin, Raul Meza, row 16. Travis Twitty and Lucas Whitehead will make up row 17. Row 18 will find Taylor Peacock there, of course, Tyler, and Jason Bridges as the field's rolling off pit road for the All-Star race here tonight.
Yeah, rest of the field will be Jose Castellanos and Justin White rounding at row 19. Row 20 will be Kyle Hess, Brandon Bullock. Row 21, that'll be Jacob Rees, race control. TJ Moore, I believe Kyle Hess also assisting in race control duties tonight, so he will not be starting. So 40, count them, 40 trucks here tonight, Wesley, take on the 1.5 mile oval in Atlanta.
And that's a really good thing, obviously, as we mentioned, the 1.5 miles here, a little bit more baking around the racetrack, and all of this going to be taken into consideration, no doubt. Again, 4 stages, shades of like what you see on Memorial Day at the Coca-Cola 600. The same will be done here, no doubt, here tonight in this race. And you'll have to be mindful and watch all of that as, again, stage 1 to stage 2 will transition into the green flag stage. Stage 2 will also be presented by the Glass Mechanic. And we, again, are going to give about another lap or so here in Atlanta before we get ready to turn them loose here. And Tyler, what an awesome track to have an all-star race, man. I think this is really going to be maybe one of the highlight events of the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series this year, and maybe even since the inception of NASRA tonight.
Yeah, Dale Jr. said that in his opinion, right now, the must-see ticket in the real world is Atlanta Motor Speedway due to the reconfiguration, the wide front and back straightaways, the very narrow corners, forces drivers to navigate from 3 to 4 wide down to really 2 wide in the corners in order to make sure that these trucks stay off of each other. I think you're going to see very, very similar things tonight. But because of that, Wesley, calamity lurks around every corner, every lap. It's going to be very, very stressful for these drivers. We've seen a lot of big wrecks here at Atlanta, and we've seen a lot of great finishes.
Hey, by the way, if you're in the Nazareth chat box, you can interact with us. We'll mention you and chat with you along the way during the race as well. And obviously, hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. The field is on the back straightaway. Again, this track just over now, 1.5 miles in length. There's been a new repaving done. This is going to make these trucks soar, no doubt, around virtual Atlanta. Right now, they work through the tunnel turn, working into turn number 3. There's another one up there between turn number 1 and 2 that you've also got to be mindful of, and this can really change things up, no doubt. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, for Nazareth, it is our All-Star night for the DSR Electric Truck Series, and it's only fitting to have them sponsor 250 miles, 140 laps of the All-Star race. Here comes the Cavalry and their kaleidoscope of colors, diving off of the banking here in turn number 3, working into the double dog leg at Atlanta. Here comes the pace truck on pit road. The field glistening under the virtual sun in Georgia takes the green flag. It's All-Star night at Atlanta, and the green flag flies is then gonna send it into turn number 1. Hendrickson, Blanchard, they're gonna be stride for stride going to turn 2.
Outside lane, that's a pair of teammates. Cole Hendrickson and Hunter Parsons try to get a good jump there, but lost connection. Christopher Tate all over the back bumper of Chris Blanchard as they work their way down the back straightaway, turns 3 and 4. Now Lance Miller is trying to help that inside line. Call it clear the first 2 positions. Battle for third. Lance Miller, Cole Hendrickson side by side. An initial breakaway. The outside lane kind of falling apart early here, Wesley. Maybe the drivers are realizing that this is a very perilous track. Let's just kind of take our time and ease into it.
Underway in this one here in the opening lap, and obviously everything went really, really good. Give the opening spot to, of course, Mr. Cole Hendrickson. But now Chris Blanchard battling back on the bottom. He's going to show the momentum now as the new fast man. They're going to work up the banking. All of this is going on now as they work their way back into the corner. It's Blanchard, Miller, Tate, Cinnamon, Hendrickson, and they're all in a gaggle of traffic as they'll funnel back out into turn number 1.
Christopher Tate goes from behind Chris Blanchard to leading that outside line. He seems to be a little bit more confident than Cole Hendrickson when it comes to leading. And Cole Hendrickson seems to be more confident as a pusher than Hunter Parsons is this early on. Lance Miller will go to the back of the 9. That's Cole Hendrickson to the back of the 30. They're going to be side by side as they enter 3 and 4. Momentum will hold to the inside line throughout the corner, but on exit, that outside line will have a significant advantage as that transition off the banking.
It's right now Chris Blanchard, the man in front. Here comes now Miller down to the inside. All this going on. And by the way, I just want to mention the 21 real quickly, Tyler, of Chris Miller. Mr. Miller in that 21 machine. You and I both know when it comes down to big all-star races, remember what the Eldora Dirt Race was last year. He was a factor in this race, and now he's making a run for the lead right behind Blanchard. Under pressure is now going to be the 30, and we got a wreck on the back straightaway. Caution is out.
Yeah, that's why I had the reaction. I just saw a truck get turned hard into the outside wall. Ron Hunter seems to be involved. But it looked like a couple more trucks were involved in that incident as it kind of happened very near the back end of that pack. We'll have to get a good replay, but that 30 machine is going to give us at least a very solid starting point on what happened here. So it looks like just kind of... Yeah, it looks like... Yeah, Ron Hunter, and I think that's Adam Newbert there, who also is collided with him. Adam Newbert started near the back tonight. Looks like he was trying to make a move to the outside of Ron Hunter. You see there at the back of this pack here, the sun glistening off these trucks, and it looks like, yeah, Ron Hunter just kind of drifts up off the bottom, and nowhere for that driver on the outside. I want to say that is Adam Newbert.
I don't want to say that. I don't know if that's Adam Newbert. That might be somebody else. I don't think that's Adam Newbert.
No, I don't think so. Now I'm looking at it. I don't think it is either. I'll have to see who that red truck is. It's a unique paint scheme. We're not sure exactly who it is. Maybe it's Jason Bridges. He came down pit road and was spent a significant amount of time on pit road. So no, it's not Jason Bridges. The driver had a red truck. Yeah. I'm not. Nah, we're unsure. We'll maybe figure it out, but we'll go back to a live picture there. But Wesley, I mean, like we said, it's tense racing here.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people come down onto the pit lane here. And is it that truck right there? That's the truck.
No, that's a different one. The other one was a Toyota, I believe. I think it was a Toyota that was involved, but not that Toyota, unfortunately, of Justin White.
Well, we're
a lot of drivers are opting to pit.
All-Star race here, and yeah, I kind of find it weird that they're actually pitting this early for sure. So, There's Christopher Tate. Here comes Jason Bridges. He's off of pit road. Ron Hunter and the other red truck got together. I don't want to say that it was Adam Newbert. It could have been another red truck. And I will tell you this as well. You're seeing it on the broadcast for our viewing audience, and we're fighting the sun as well. That sun bearing down on the back stretch, obviously, Tyler, makes the visibility very hard for us to kind of pinpoint some of these, trucks and what just happened here just a moment ago on the back straightaway.
You're exactly right, but it's not just us who's affected. It actually does affect the drivers in the sim.
Oh, yeah.
The glare can be really bad coming off some of these corners. So these drivers will actually be happy as we get later in the day. That sun will just get higher in the sky. We'll have that horrible angle getting in through that front windshield. Later in the race, it should get a lot better.
There's a matter of fact, the sim conditions on race day right now, 80 degrees. Track temp is 86, ambient temperature 80 degrees, and obviously partly cloudy skies, but the sun is out over the racetrack. And we, of course, have got Chris Blanchard in the lead, Lance Miller in second, and here comes now the 57 of Jacob Reeves on pit road. He's on pit road. The redneck announcer, Joey Stiers, is on pit road. Lester on pit road.
Christopher Tate, who was up inside the top 5, came down pit road there.
Yeah, there's Fred Lester.
That's
Fred Lester,
surprising.
Winner last week, wasn't he? Fred Lester, yeah.
Yeah, Fred Lester, your winner last week. I think this might be a strategy call. Drivers realizing, you don't have a lot of options for tires tonight, right? You only have 5 sets of tires, 4 tire changes with you tonight, but fuel capacity is extremely limited. 65% fuel capacity, Wesley. It might be why some of these drivers are trying different strategies here, getting as much fuel in the truck as they can.
By the way, that wraps up a Serve Pro caution, fire, water cleanup, and restoration. Serve Pro makes everything that is damaged and destroyed be brand new again. More details are at servepro.com. Again, Serve Pro, our yellow flag sponsor for the NASCAR DSR Electric Truck Series, and we are about to go back to green here in the All-Star race. 2x2 comes the cavalry. Pace truck scampers onto the pit lane. Field makes their way back into the Geico restart zone. Blanchard Miller now. Blanchard up top. He has the option as the leader. Miller goes to the bottom. Here comes Cinnamon, Hendrickson. Gregory has improved in months of late. He's in the top 5 as they go into one.
Yeah, Blanchard and Cinnamon, the Upfront Motorsports teammates, quickly getting down in front of Miller and Hendrickson and Parsons. Parsons kind of boxed in there, can't work with his teammate, Stephen Gregory. The lone truck right now on the outside lane, bottom lane, dominating the field. Everyone getting single file kind of patiently, but it looks like Stephen Thomas is going to jump out of line, try to get up to Stephen Gregory there, so we see some trucks jostling back there.
Yeah, I like that word jostling as we kind of watch everybody kind of get into formation here. And we mentioned Daytona. We mentioned Talladega, and listen, once they get settled in here, Tyler, I know this track doesn't look wide enough, but when they get brave enough, they're going to start going super speedway racing here around this track on the back stretches. Right now, Blanchard leads, heading for 3.
Oh, no doubt, Wesley, but the problem with Atlanta compared to Daytona and Talladega is the radius of the corners is so much tighter, you can't actually keep it full throttle. If you are further back in the pack getting a major draft, you have to lift in these corners, unlike Talladega and Daytona, just to keep the truck in the lane. As we see Cole Hendrickson get a big push there from Stephen Gregory, he's going to go to the point at this point in turns 1 and 2.
Let's watch them again as they work their way again off of that corner off turn number 2. There was the battle for the lead. You see the top 7 up on the screen from the drone or from the aerial coverage of the race in action. As here comes Blanchard down to the inside, carries now Cinnamon and Miller. Let's see if Hendrickson can get something organized up on the top side. All this going on now as they come storming down to the tri-oval, down into turn number 1, back to 1. Miller disappeared, came out for just a moment, glitched in, popped back in, and popped back out. We're going to see if that might be a problem on that High Life 21, but right now he still holds his own down behind the bottom as they work the 3 there, Tyler.
Yeah, and this is what we expect from New Atlanta. But you see those trucks, especially in the outer lane, drift up so much, and that's the lane I'd actually expect for the drivers to be able to control their truck a little bit more because it's a wider arc. But you're seeing a significant change from when those trucks enter the corner to when they exit the corner as we ride on board here with Stephen Gregory looking at the front towards Cole Hendrickson, the Highline Racing driver. You see Chris Blanchard battling back to the inside off of 2. These drivers are going to have their hands full tonight.
It is right now Cole Hendrickson in the lead. You're on board now with the man just a second ago that was behind him That was Stephen Gregory, and Gregory now having a really good run. Parsons is now closing in. Daytona winner Brian Chu also on the outside. So is Hammond, Blanchard, Cinnamon, Miller, Stiers, or Thomas, correction. All of those trucks along with Doucette down on the bottom, and they're getting 2 by 2 and starting to form a lanes here.
Yeah, the lanes are forming. You think why are they racing so aggressively at this point? Well, with the all-star race format, Wesley, stage 1 ends in just 13 laps. We're halfway through stage number 1. It ends at lap 25. They'll have caution, reset here, go to stage number 2. These drivers have to get points now, especially Hunter Parsons. You know, Brady LaBeouf's not in the field tonight. Hunter Parsons and Cole Henriksen can gain a lot of points on the regular season points lead tonight if they go out and perform well in these first 2 stages.
And Brady LaBeouf, the defending series champion, definitely surprised that he's not in the all-star race. But honestly, guys that have already won races this year, they really don't have to be in the all-star race for that matter. They know they're going to the playoffs.
That's exactly right, but I know Brady LaBeouf spoke with him earlier, and him and I will talk about it on the Hot Lap podcast, which will be, again, producing on Spotify this week. I know he really wanted to be here. Fortunately, had some family commitments he could not get out of. Trust me, he tried. He really did try. He wanted to run this race tonight because he knows how much these stage points are going to matter. 3 stages and the final stage of the race means an additional 10 points that you can get towards that regular season championship, which pays out a lot of playoff points, Wesley.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right now, believe it or not, we are working into the final handful of laps into stage number 1. That will transition in to stage number 2, as we aforementioned right now, as all these drivers working their way back around the racetrack as they close in back into turn number 2. Again, about 10 laps, less than 10 laps to go here in stage 1. Now remember, lap 25 is the end of stage 1. Stage points are up for grabs in less than 10 laps from now, as Tyler and I aforementioned. But then remember, unless we get a original organic caution, we will not throw a yellow flag for the end of the stage. From 1 to 2, we transition into the Glass Mechanic Stage 2, and that will go all the way, Tyler, to lap 55. But Blanchard has got a big gaggle of traffic to hold off as he works in 2.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when I was reading the race details if they meant stage 1 to 2 was staying green or if stage 2 to 3 was staying green. We'll have to see exactly what race control and the league officially decided on, because I was a little confused reading that, Wesley. If you think it's stage 1 to 2 staying green, then by golly, this is going to be a very intense 55 laps until they get that stage break.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll keep an eye on it. When I was conferring with Brady last week, he was telling me that there was going to be the 4 stages in the race, and that I'm thinking normally stage 1 goes into green, into stage number 2, and then I think we'll have a caution at the end of stage 2 going to stage 3, caution at the end of stage 3 going into stage 4. So, again, right now, watching from this awesome camera angle from Biggles, Dean Hopton, look at this from the top roof of Cole Hendrickson's truck. Cinnamon behind him, Blanchard to his inside, and all this going on as they climb the bank and going back to 1, approaching lap 20.
And really, no lane's been able to really break through and gain an advantage, but I expect the top side to eventually start to pull away and start to make the pass and start clearing some of these inside lanes. The inside lane's falling apart a little bit because the tires are going to wear here at Atlanta. Those right fronts are really, really going to be chewed up with the amount of speed and force being exerted on them. But right now, the outside lane kind of struggled through 3 and 4. It looks like we have a driver pitting.
Yeah, that's the 21 of Lance Miller dropping out of line. Remember, I told you he was glitching back and forth and back and forth. Miller's been having a problem, and Adam Lighty is on pit road, actually, the 35 truck. But as I was mentioning, that 21 machine, he is not even anywhere to be found right now, Tyler, even on the racetrack. I think he is falling all the way back, my goodness, to 26th position. So, again, this gold Miller High Life machine was up in the front, was glitching in and out, and now you see the end result as he falls all the way back into the top 25. And now look at this outside lane. Hendrickson trying to go after Blanchard with a special paint scheme on that 101 machine as they go to the backstretch.
Yeah, a new paint scheme that Cole Hendrickson is very proud to support and show here tonight in that Toyota Tundra. But, man, the loud truck there of Lighty, that was really unnerving for Chris Blanchard there being on the inside. I was probably really worried of how poorly that could have gone. Good work by Lighty getting off the racing surface there. But 4 laps until we pay out the stage points, Wesley, it's going to be even more intense if it could be already.
And remember, top 10 stage points up for grabs. Right now, Blanchard is in the lead. Hendrickson in second. Cinnamon and Gregory third and fourth right now. And remember, if we traditionally move into stage 2 under green flag conditions, these guys are fighting for stage points. They might wreck each other to try to get these stage points, racing as hard as they are, coming to the line with 3 to go now.
Yeah, I see Chris Blanchard still holding. He would have won the stage if the stage ended that lap, but he still has 3 more laps to try and hold off Cole Hendrickson. Another lap track that looks to be Ron Hunter up ahead of the 9 machine here. There should catch him down the back straightaway. Hopefully he gets out of the way rather easily. But man, these drivers are really struggling. You see the outside lane getting a big push down the back straightaway there. Blanchard trying to hold on to it, getting a shove from his teammate, the Canadian Chris Cinnamon here through 3 and 4.
Working into turn number 3, working off turn 4, coming to 2 to go now in stage number 1. Blanchard still stays down to the bottom of the racetrack, and Hendrickson will stay up on the top side. No change, no falter by any of the front runners. Cinnamon in tow, so is Gregory and Parsons, and we got a yellow flag. Caution will come out. We got trouble on the racetrack. Got a couple of trucks smoking. And there you see the yellow flag. Wonder if Nathan White was called up in it. Some other drivers.
Looks like Cole Hendrickson might be scored as the leader. He'll end up, it looks like, winning the stage.
Oh man, we were showing Justin White. I saw another truck up front that had some smoke bellowing, and yeah, there you see it right there. Jason Stevenson in the fence, but Phil Pappas in the 88 machine, and well, there you go. 3 wide. I think this is what started it there, Tyler.
Yeah, 3 wide, and it just looked like ran out of room a little bit. Outside lane kind of came down. Stevenson ends up. Oh, it reminds me of Ryan Blaney's hit at Daytona last fall. Just going in the corner, just hard into the outside fence. You see Chris Kynes and others involved there. Looks like Justin White was more slowing. Yeah. Looks like White was more slowing down.
We're into the truck was airborne there, man, whenever he bounced off the safer barrier. So, Pit road is open, and you see that they're taking, of course, service, and this was, of course, going to end stage number 1 as well. So, looks like Cole Hendrickson or Chris Blanchard, one of them others, are going to be awarded the stage points. We'll find out who will reset. The All-Star race from Atlanta returns in a moment. We're back. Back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, stage number 1 is over. They were going to transition into a green flag run to lap 55 in stage 2. However, because of an accident on the racetrack, which is the second Serve Pro caution of the race, we're on board now with Cole Hendrickson in the 101, your stage 1 winner here in the DSR Electric All-Star race. Of course, the man in the R1 works for Highline Racing. Cole, your take of stage 1, battling with Blanchard, and looks like you really like the outside lane. Or are you now happy that you're on the bottom for the restart?
I'm just going to try the bottom here. I don't know. We noticed the higher line there seemed like it saved your tires a little bit. So luckily I was able to stay up there and pick up that stage win. And I'm in not desperate need of points, but it's definitely nice to have them. So I appreciate Steven giving me the pushes there, and hopefully we can keep her up here for the rest of the race.
Yeah, Cole, you mentioned you did. Yeah, appreciate it, Wesley. Cole, you mentioned you're not in desperate need of points. You were second in the point standings coming in tonight. Brady obviously not running the race. You winning the stage keeps that advantage over your teammate Hunter Parsons. We mentioned pre-race chatting. Hey, gotta keep it clean. Gotta finish your race. How are you going to do that from here on out?
Well, I think stay up front. If I get sucked back into the pack at all, I think the plan is just to drop out because I would expect a big one here a little later. So as long as I can stay up front, I think I'll keep the nose clean. If not, we're going to head to the back.
All right, man, well, we'll let you go. Getting ready for the restart. There's the Stage 1 winner here at the All-Star race at Atlanta, the 101. That is, of course, Cole Hendrickson for Highline Racing. We now move into Stage number 2 here in Atlanta. It's presented by also at the All-Star race, the Glass Mechanic. Green flag goes in the air. The field rumbles down the front straightaway, picks up speed. Hendrickson, we just chatted with him. He's now going to try to double down in Stage 2. He's in the lead into 1.
Yeah, he got a big jump there. Stephen Gregory would get right to his back bumper, but now the up front teammates on the outside, Chris Blanchard and Chris Cinnamon, they're going to try and make a move here as they are going to have a big head of steam coming down the back straightaway. They're going to challenge for the lead as they enter 3 and 4. Hunter Parsons deciding to go with his Highline Racing teammate on the inside. Brian Chu going to jump to the outside.
Hendrickson down to the inside. Blanchard with Cinnamon up top. There comes Chu in the 51 as well. Parsons now trying to get something started down to the bottom of the racetrack to get up under Gregory. He can't get there yet. He might reel him in now into 1.
Great move there by Chris Blanchard, using a little bit of side draft on the front straightaway, getting a good run entering 1 and 2. He's hoping to get a big shove from his teammate Chris Cinnamon behind him as they work towards 3 and 4, trying to get a nose out in front as Cole Hendrickson is going to have the shorter way around, should gain a little bit of an advantage through 3 and 4, but Blanchard needs Cinnamon to get to his back bumper off of 4.
Trying to work it, save it right now. Back to the line here. It's the Upfront Motorsports machine. Blanchard up on the outside, and it's right back again with Highline Racing. Hendrickson, they battled in Stage 1. They battled in the early start of Stage 2 to the backstretch.
And that's the thing with Atlanta Motor Speedway, especially the new configuration, is unfortunately it doesn't really allow for a lot of opportunities. Chris Blanchard's going to jump down in front of Cole Hendrickson, abandoning his teammate, maybe trying to work both lines up front, trying to control both sides. Cole Hendrickson's not going to want to stay behind Blanchard here as they're bobbing and weaving through the front straightaway. Looks like Hunter Parsons got put in the middle there. He's going to lose a spot. He's going to fall back to 4th inside on the inside lane as Blanchard now controls the inside.
And now Cinnamon will get up on the outside lane. Here comes now Chu to follow. Morales is now up there at the bottom along with Hammond. This happens on the outside. They start to power away from Blanchard. Blanchard needs some help. Hendrickson will come to follow. Here comes now Gregory. Parsons about a half a truck length back, and they work off 4.
Brian Chu, the Daytona winner, wants another Super Speedway win to add to his resume. He's working hard. You see Jose Luis Rivera looking a little squirrely, got up near the fence in the quad oval correction. And now Chris and Chris are side by side. Brian Chu, again, a big mover early on, started back of the pack. He's up 15, call it 16 as him and Chris Cinnamon are going to the front.
Back straightaway now into that 3rd turn. Watch all this action. There's about the top 10, top 12, top 15 or so. Right there nestled in the pack with one another in that first pack. That first pair of these trucks all working side by side, if you will, coming across the line. It's a big gaggle of traffic. Everybody tucking in line, trying to bob and weave up the banking. Here comes Chu. He thought about going to the inside. He thought about going 3 wide. Will he split Hendrickson and Cinnamon in the hot dog flying out of the bun? He will not. Will he try to pull the trigger into 3? No. He stays up top and they work into the corner.
Brian Chu kind of biding his time right now, realizing he has to wait for the right opportunity to try and control that outside lane. Right now, the Upfront Motorsport teammates each controlling a lane. And they're controlling the race a little bit, especially as long as Cole Hendrickson can't clear Chris Cinnamon on his outside. There's no way that anyone's going to get by these drivers. The 2 lanes are just too powerful, and no one's going to want to push a 3rd lane this early.
Yeah, down that back stretch again. Let's watch it one more time as they close in down into the corner. Into turn number 3. Blanchard on the bottom. Here comes the 3. That's going to be Cinnamon up top. Parsons has now found a way to get the daylight and move into the bottom behind the leaders as they work back into the corner. And here you go down with Cinnamon making a move on the top. You're going to go on board now with Brian Chu. He's right behind Cinnamon, and they're bump drafting, side drafting, going into 2.
Yeah, you can see just how much he's wheeling that thing in the middle of 1 and 2, going down through these corners, 179 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour on these straightaways. And they get down in the corner, there's a little bit of a lift, but it's not much, especially when they're on these fresher tires. But as these tires wear away, especially for those trucks on the bottom, that lift's going to get bigger and bigger as they enter these corners, and that's going to lead to some stacking up and some checking up on the inside lane. These drivers are going to have their handful.
And I'll be honest with you, Tyler, if they could find a way to flat-foot it all the way around Atlanta without stopping, without backing off the throttle or hitting on the brake, that would be the perfect thing for somebody out there to do. But right now, we're not seeing that. They're kind of hesitant when they climb the banking, going into 1, going into 3 on the exit of the straightaways. And we're just keeping everybody all bunched up in a pack. There you see almost 25 trucks right there in that first pack as they work across the line. Cinnamon up high. He's got Chew to deal with on the bottom as they on the top as they work into 1 and 2. And now Cinnamon after Blanchard in the corner.
Yeah, and like you said, Wesley, if they had the trucks that could handle well enough to flat-foot around these corners, the drivers would every single lap like they do at Daytona and Talladega. The problem is just the size of the track and also the temperature. With these tires, these right fronts are just absolutely being punished lap after lap in these high banking corners, especially with how fast these trucks are through here. It's not sustainable for these right fronts. And if we go green through this stage, obviously we had a caution in stage 1, so we're not really sure if that was supposed to be the caution or not. But if we go green continuing through stage 2, we're going to have to see drivers pit for tires, not let alone fuel, because the trucks are become so ill-handling.
Watching all this going on again as they work back into the corner. Into turn number 2, now hitting that back straightaway. Here comes Blanchard down to the inside as they work their way now back to start finish. It's now Cinnamon up on the top. Gives plenty of room to everybody that's cascading down to the bottom, and they're going after the Thundering Herd. It's now Canada and the U.S. battling. Blanchard, Cinnamon off 2.
Blanchard get a little bit of a shot there from Cole Hendrickson on the exit of 2. That 9 machine did not like that necessarily, got a little unsettled, was able to keep it contained as they roll towards 3 and 4. That outside lane you see drifts up even more. Brian Chu and Jason Morales, they just kind of drift up above Cinnamon to try to get some fresh air to the nose of those trucks, but if you drift up a little too much, you might find yourself in the outside wall.
Gotta ask this question, Tyler. As we watch these guys funnel back out into turn number 2 with Blanchard still in the lead, Hendrickson, Cinnamon, Gregory, Chu, your top 5. This race, this all-star race, being ran in the morning time, okay? It started in the morning as we're on board with Chris Cinnamon as he's battling with Blanchard for the top spot, but this is in the morning time. Usually we've covered races in the dead of the afternoon or from dusk until dawn, or, you know, from nightfall until, you know, or from dusk until nightfall is what I meant to say. What's it like? What's the transition? What are these trucks going to be like running in the morning conditions, especially knowing that we're going to be fighting the sun all during the day?
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point, Wesley, by asking the question. These trucks are just going to become more and more ill-handling, especially on old tires later in this race, right? And when you look at the final stage, right, the last stage caution, stage 3 ends lap 85. Then we go all the way to lap 140. If we run green through most of that stage, those trucks are really going to be a handful for these drivers, especially 30 laps into a run, because we'll be crouching up near noontime probably by the time we get near the end of this race, as we have under 100 laps to go finally. It's going to be a handful, and you're not going to see these tight packs I think you see right now. I think you're going to see us get more split up and spread out, which we're already seeing kind of a split up pack there, right? You already have like the top 20 within a decent reach, but then after that, there's a little bit of a gap back to a second and third pack throughout the field.
Blanchard bobbing and weaving. Behind him is Hendrickson, and then he's somehow trying to hold off the likes of Cinnamon to his outside. All of this going on down the back straightaway. Nobody's been brave enough to stick it 3 wide just of yet. I got a feeling that's going to fly out the window pretty soon as we're under 100 laps to go. Here comes the field now, working off of turn number 4. It looks like they're under pace truck speed, under yellow, and they're all door-to-door, still side-by-side, climbing the banking into 1.
Yeah, and these guys are confident right now. They have fresher tires than they had at the end stage number 1, but now we're approaching lap 4. We're on lap 44, approaching lap 45, coming up to about 10, 11 laps to go in the Glass Mechanics stage number 2. These drivers are going to get a little bit more aggressive with the pushes, but also when they get more aggressive, they're having less tire to work with, Wesley. So, you know, even a small mistake can lead to causing a big accident here, especially at the front where the pushes seem to be more and more aggressive as the laps go by.
You're looking at the battle for first. These 7 trucks right there on the bottom right. You can see the ticker there, the interval of how close they are between one another in separation. Down the back straightaway, Blanchard now starting to open up a little more lead on Hendrickson, but not for long. Hendrickson right up under the tailgate of the 9. He give him a shot, a put in the pants, if you will. Got him loose, and he turned him. Oh, they make contact, and they're crashing. One's gone up in the air. It's Brian Chu airborne. Other trucks are crashing into turn number 3 and 4, and they're all trying to get on the binders. Big calamity there, going for the lead. One wrong slip, and calamity off of the corner there, Tyler, in 4.
And this is what I was just saying before that all happened.
Well, we're back. Unexpected commercial break, and here is a look at what happened here. And Tyler, I mean, I don't want to say that Hendrickson was being aggressive. I just think he bumped him in the wrong part of the racetrack off the corner or entering the corner. And there you see Brian Chu, Blanchard all into the fence as we're going to put it back in rewind and go to full speed again. But I can't say that I find Hendrickson at fault for taking out the 9. It was just a racing move in the left rear at the wrong time of doing it there.
Yeah, this one's hard for me, right? Because you're on lap 45. There's no need to bump draft in the corners, right? I mean, I get it, right? You thought you had some momentum there. You just misjudged it, if I had to guess, right? It's a misjudging, but it's just such a big wreck, taking out so many good trucks, right? Brian Chu, Jason Morales, Chris Blanchard, all involved there. Many, many more are going to get involved here as you see the calamity behind. A lot of good trucks taken out early on here. It's so difficult, you know, with these races. See Raul Meza go in there and kind of just finish off Blanchard a little bit at the end, but.
And you know, Tyler, it's the super speedway effect. The accident that happened, and then you got everybody else in the back of the pack. Somehow, some way, they get collected in it as well. You saw those trucks exiting on transition off 3 and 4, and you're seeing them spin and get crashed. Raul Meza, you mentioned him, the other red machine there coming off of 4, and it's heartbreak for sure, man. I feel bad for obviously, you know, a guy like, you know, Chris Blanchard, because he looked really strong. It looked like Hendrickson's come to the pit lane. The 99 is on pit road. Our Cole Hendrickson's all the way back to the top 20. And now Stephen Gregory is the new leader. Blake Logan is on pit road as well.
Yeah, a lot of drivers coming on pit road to get damaged, repaired, and it's really rough, right? These drivers, you know, they were getting close to the end of stage number 2, and they were excited, right, waiting for stage points, but it still was a little early. I just think the push was ill-timed on Cole Hendrickson's part. I'm not saying it was necessarily like a
intentional, right,
dirty or intentional move. I just think, in my opinion, I also don't like super speedway racing, so take this with a grain of salt, maybe, Wesley, but I would not have been that aggressive, especially in the corner at Atlanta on lap 45 of 140.
Well, there you see what just happened there is, of course, we are still in the final 10 laps of stage number 2 here at the All-Star Race, the DSR Electric All-Star Race here from Atlanta. And right now, a new lineup in the top 10 is, again, some drivers have elected to come down to the pit lane. All of this has shuffled everything up with new names, and we get ready to come back for the restart here now. It'll be lap number 48, 7 laps to go here to approach into stage number, I'm sorry, yes, 7 laps to go now in stage number 2. Will we see a caution at lap 55? We will find out as the Glass Mechanic Stage 2 goes back to green. It is Gregory now in front. He's got now Stephen Thomas in tow. Parsons up on the outside. Hemmons there. And how about Castanelas as they hit the backstretch?
Yeah, Jose Castellanos is up 34 spots. I mean, he started all the way at the back, was not allowed to qualify due to an EOL last week in Iowa. Meanwhile, right now, he's up inside the top 5 here in Stage 2. He's got an opportunity for plenty of stage points, especially with Stage 3 being added in Stage 4. I mean, he's got a great chance for a great finish here. And Hunter Parsons, maybe he can take advantage of the fact that Cole Henriksen did receive an EOL for that incident. Hunter Parsons may be able to take some of those points back that he lost to his teammate after Stage 1 as the battle for the regular season championship roars on here as they go down the back straightaway. But Hunter Parsons giving Stephen Thomas the business. Thomas goes to the point. He goes down to the bottom.
Thomas now, the new leader to the inside of the racetrack. Gregory and Parsons, and behind them in tow, they're 2x2. Somehow working their way off the corner. 5 laps to go down with the Glass Mechanic Stage 2 of the All-Star race. Parsons now pulls the trigger. He's got Hammond as a wingman. Reeves is up on the top as well. He's a Georgia boy here in the ATL going to the 3rd spot.
Yeah, what an unlikely trio of drivers working together. Some drivers who maybe have had some choice words for each other, but Hammond leaves out Parsons to dry as soon as he helped him get to the point. I was about to say, I was surprised those two were working together, knowing how they've kind of had some incidents and run-ins and discussions in the past in the Discords, but Hammond takes the point.
Look at how fast, though, Stephen Thomas, though, Tyler, ran up on the back end of the tailgate of the machine of Hammond. He had so much speed draft coming off of that corner. He had to get on the binders there, and here comes now Jacob Reeves on the outside.
Yeah, the redneck announcer plus 37. Wow.
Yeah, 30, 37, 38 spots. It's popping up there. Jacob Reeves is now a man on a mission on the outside lane, as I aforementioned. Here comes Hammond down to the inside. Parsons will now tiptoe to the lead as they make contact across the line with 2 to go.
And this is the unique beauty of this all-star race, Wesley, is these drivers have an extra stage to compete for more stage points, and that big wreck shuffled up things so much. We're having different drivers with unique opportunities. You see Jacob Reeves, you see other drivers like Stephen Thomas and Chris Kynes inside the top 10. Reeves tried to get to the bottom, was not clear off of Hammond. He'll push Parsons clear. Parsons dropped down for a second, but he's going to come back up to the outside. That outside lane kind of jumbled there on that move. It looked like Reeves wanted to go down, but just couldn't make it work.
2 laps to go now at the line, and how important is the stage points? Look at how fast and furious and aggressive these guys are going at it. Reeves up under the back end of the Statesville, North Carolina driver, the pride out of Rome, Georgia. Jacob Reeves on the outside. He's got to help. He gives a punt to Parsons. They're trying to get away from Hammond. They're working to 1 to go in stage 2 out of 4.
Yeah, I talked with Hunter Parsons pre-race. He said, I want to win every stage. Well, he didn't win stage 1. That went to his teammate, but he has a great opportunity here. Stage number 2. 1 lap remaining in the Glass Mechanic stage number 2 here. And Hunter Parsons looking to be in the captain's seat. He looks to be working really well with Jacob Reeves.
You want to see how much these stage points are important to these drivers? Look at this crazy racing. It's been fanatical on the restart. Down the back straightaway. Hunter Parsons now in the top spot. But here comes Reeves. He's on the tailgate. He goes to the outside. Tries to split him 3 wide as Parsons. Here comes Hammond down to the bottom. Hammond's got some help from Thomas. He's got the momentum, but Parsons battles back on the outside. 3/1000ths of a second. And stage number 2 is going to go to Hunter Parsons. We are not going to the green flag. We will stay. We're not going to caution. We will stay under green flag into stage number 3.
And this is what's so exciting about continuing under green for some of these stations. Yeah, maybe we don't get to talk to Hunter Parsons, but the racing is just going to keep battling. The intensity there, the stage points were paid out. Hunter Parsons gets the advantage. He'll win stage number 2. That's a playoff point for him. I know he wanted those playoff points badly. He's got an opportunity. And guess what? In about another 30 laps, he has an opportunity to do it again here and try and win stage number 3 and collect another playoff point. But him and Jacob Reeves almost kind of lost it all there in turns 3 and 4. Kind of got disconnected a little bit, weren't working well together, and Thomas gave Hammond a heck of a shove to make it as close as it was.
And I'll be honest with you, Tyler, you've reached the end of stage 2 presented by the Glass Mechanic here at the DSR Electric All-Star Race. If it was me and I had spotters, I would try to tell these guys to simmer down a little bit. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen, as now Stephen Thomas will power to the lead around Parsons and around Hammond, looking for the top spot. The West Virginia driver, the Toyota 420, the Daytona Cops Truck Series winner. Look at this. Parsons, it's allowed. It's not a penalty to go below the line, the double red line, if you will. He has made a move below there to try to make another move to go after the machines of Thomas and Hammond. But again, calm down a little bit. Again, you got a long way to go now here. You're in the lap number 58 of 85 for stage number 3. And obviously, you don't want to make an aggressive move and tear a truck up. We kind of saw that happen between Hendrickson and Blanchard there, Tyler, as they work the backstretch.
Yeah, I think we're seeing these drivers actually try and put themselves in positions to save fuel, right? We don't know how much fuel these drivers have if they can make it all the way to end of stage 3 without, pitting. So maybe we're seeing drivers like Hunter Parsons. He wants to get behind Tim Hammond instead of leading a line because he just doesn't want to burn as much fuel. He wants to kind of relax. You see, he's not pushing Hammond much at all, it looked like, on the front straightaway. So we should see Stephen Thomas probably clear that 69 machine down the back straightaway if he gets a big enough shove from Chris Cinnamon there. Should be able to clear him entering 3 and 4. See, Hunter Parsons not pushing the envelope right now.
Right now, let's give you your top 10 as we are approaching lap number 60 in the All-Star race. Again, halfway, coming up in about another 10 laps of 140 laps the distance. It is Stephen Thomas, the leader. Timothy Hammond is in second. Chris Cinnamon is third. Hunter Parsons fourth. Stephen Gregory is your top 5. The bottom 5 will find Chris Kynes, Castellanes, followed by Adam Newton, Dana Shepard, and Jacob Reeves in the top 10. And they are not done battling. They're going to 3 with Thomas in front.
Yeah, it looks like people are trying to get to the bottom of the league and kind of just ride right now. While we're here in stage number 3, though, a quick shout out to one of our new major sponsors here at NASRA, Premier Racing Setups. If you go to Premier Racing Setups right now, use code NASRA, N-A-S-R-A. Use code NASRA. You can get 15% off your order, and 15% of all setups bought using code NASRA will actually kick back towards the league. So if you want to find a setup to take your sim racing career to the next level, use Premier Racing Setups, found in 2016. Again, use code NASRA, N-A-S-R-A, for 15% off your order and 15% of your order going back to the league.
There you go. I didn't get the memo on that. That sounds pretty cool. Even though I don't run iRacing. Stephen Thomas is the leader. Timothy Hammond to the number 2 spot. Hunter Parsons down to the inside. Chris Cinnamon now in that number 3, trying to get up something started on the outside, where it looks like, Tyler, now the bottom of the racetrack is the place to go.
Yeah, it looks like all the drivers on the top side just realized it wasn't worth putting themselves in a bad spot, and they've abandoned ship. Chris Cinnamon's the only driver within multiple car lengths on the outside, a few other stragglers, but I think you're seeing, like you said, Wesley, the whole simmer down. We're pretty much single file, call it, for the first 20, 30. Yeah, we have kind of relaxed here in stage number 3. Everyone got their money's worth, though, in the Glass Mechanics stage 2, but now we're seeing pit stops, and this is what I was thinking. I don't think these drivers have enough fuel to make it to lap 85. We're going to see some pit stops.
Green flag pit stops, says Christopher Tate, Jacob Reeves, Lance Miller, and Chris Kynes was on pit road just a moment ago on lap number 40. Well, the last time they pitted was around lap number 47, so it's updating now. And here comes more trucks on pit road. Thomas, Hammond, Parsons, Gregory, Hendrickson, Barnett, they're all pitting now, and the racing's going on into turn number 2.
Yeah, still Chris Cinnamon, Jeff Johnson, Kerry Tribune, Jason Morales, Jose Luis Rivera, your top 5 right now. Those drivers yet to pit. Right now, everyone inside your top 18 have yet to pit. Justin White, last truck currently in the field that is yet to come down. Correction, Akami Proctor, who's in 19th, last pit on lap 47. Everyone else has been in for service so far in the back of the pack, but right now you're looking up front where these drivers we are expecting to have to come to pit road in the next 10 to 15 laps.
There has been 3 cautions, 3 Surf Pro cautions so far in this race, as we're in stage number 3 now, working lap number 65 of 140, a handful of laps to the cross flags coming out as we watch the leaders working off the corner. And I got to tell you something. I know we've had 3 cautions, Tyler, but for the most part, this race has flew by fairly quickly. We're only 42 minutes in sim time since the green flag.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of like the unique thing with Atlanta is it gives you that super speedway action, but the laps click off. It's only about a 30-second lap, 31-second lap on these older tires we're seeing these drivers, compared to Daytona, Talladega, where the laps are closer to a minute than they are 30 seconds. So the laps kind of click away here. Also only 40 laps longer than most of the Daytona and Talladega races we run, Wesley. Kind of creates a unique challenge here, but this race is flying by, and the drivers have been, for the most part, clean, minus those 3 minor incidents. Well, the 1 major incident, but the other ones were minor.
Look at this up high. The 33 machine in trouble. Somehow keeping it up against the safer barrier away from all the other competitors. That's Jeffrey Johnson, his Ford off the pace, the man out of Columbus, Indiana. You're on board with him right now, but somehow he kind of falls back and just trying to, if you will, get to the end of the stage or find a way until he needs to come and make pit stops here. The 33 back in 14th.
And this is what that group that stayed out needs to do. Get in a single file line. They're running faster lap times than the field behind them. The drivers who have already pitted, who are on the front straightaway going into 1 and 2 right now, a lap down. Leading that group is Jose Castellanos. They ran a 31. Now they're running more comparable lap times. Ran a 31.1 last time. Chris Simmons ran a 31.2. So now that they're lapping a little bit faster, but you know, these two packs equally spaced out, but getting single file, it's going to be a race of just who can stay tucked in line the best, who can work together, especially those front 3 to 4 trucks are really going to determine which of these packs is going to go faster around this 1.5 mile.
Working halfway when they come back to the line next time around. It is lap 85 in stage number 3, which is definitely different than what we normally do for NASRA because we have 3 stages. The All-Star race tonight in Atlanta has 4. Halfway, 70 down, 70 to go in the race distance, and there is still 15 laps to go in stage number 3. Kerry Tribune, who's won earlier this year, the leader in the 7 off 2.
Yeah, the leader, the winner from Indianapolis road course. He's going back to Indianapolis here in just a couple weeks' time, Wesley. But this time to the oval. He's going to try and sweep both races at Indy. But right now, he's trying to control the field here as now they're 2 by 2. Robbie Richards and it looks like Chris Cinnamon getting out of line. That's going to hurt this lead pack that are trying to conserve fuel, trying to run away from the pack behind them. You know, that's going to really hurt them as you see the main pack fly through. The second pack, everyone who had pitted, coming off of 4 right now. So they have about a full straightaway separating them two. Not sniffing the draft just yet, but they're going to start reeling them in here quickly, especially as stragglers like Nate Maurer and Joey Stiers get picked up by the big pack.
It is Robert Richards now, the pride out of Gastonia, North Carolina, in the Cop Century. Now leading the way, Kerry Tribune back down to the bottom. Jose Luis Rivera, Chris Cinnamon now, door to door. Here comes now Jose Luis Rivera. What a move, 2 for 1, up to 4th, maybe more. He's after the leader into 1.
Yeah, these two drivers fighting side by side now here. That's Richards and Tribune. Jose Luis Rivera trying to get to the back bumper of that Highline Racing number 7 of Kerry Tribune as they're approaching just 13 laps left in the stage. You have to wonder, when are they going to come down pit road for service? They still have that other pack behind them a lap down. Are they trying to maybe just try to take the minimal amount of fuel possible, try to stretch it as long as they can, get a little splash, and hopefully come back out before that pack unlaps himself and then passes them again? So maybe a little bit of strategy involved here, and also maybe pitting with less trucks was their goal, right? You know, more field has pitted than hasn't pit, as we're now looking here again at the front of the field. Kerry Tribune, Jose Luis Rivera, that's Robbie Richards and Chris Cinnamon, and they're outside. A lot of strategy to be thought out here in the next 12 laps.
Working into turn number 4. Here they come, thundering to the line this time around. 11 to go here in stage number 3. Kerry Tribune under attack on the bottom. Here comes now Richards. He's got help with Cinnamon. They're going to try to go 2 for 1. Help's coming, though. Meza up on the outside from Chico, California. He's trying to make a run now, but he lost ground as they work off 2.
Yeah, Cinnamon's going to dip down right behind Kerry Tribune, the 7, leave Robbie Richards hanging that 48 Mission 1 Esports entry. Carrying the torch right now for Mission 1 Esports, him and Christopher Tate tonight. Bray LaBeouf, obviously, the Season 2 champion, not here, but Robbie Richards is now going to try and get in line, but almost thought he couldn't fit there, stepped out of line, gets back in line here. So we have 10 laps to go here in stage number 3.
Look at this now with Robert Richards up top on that camera, if you will, that changes to the back end. There you see the tailgate of the number 48 and all the action that's going behind him. As now he has the leaders in front of him of Tribune and Cinnamon. Things kind of settle down a little bit. Now 9 to go. Lap traffic up ahead. They see it. All this happening, and they have not pitted yet also as they work into 1.
Yeah, but also the group that has already pitted has caught the tail end of that big pack because they're running single file. You now see on the track map in your top right for all those watching at home, those groups have now kind of just become one really, really long train, essentially. A little bit of a gap there maybe, but not much of a gap now. As they've closed in, they should be starting to sniff the draft of those trucks who have not pit. That's going to put those trucks who haven't pit at a disadvantage. You see Kerry Tribune's coming down pit road.
And Kerry Tribune will come down to the pit lane. Gotta wonder how much further these other front runners can, as right now Jason Morellas will also join him. Trucks going inside and outside. Below the white line is going to be Adam Newton. He's now climbed his way to the number 4 spot. Shepard back into the top 5 now, as here comes Robert Richard leading him into turn 3 single file.
Yeah, it looks to be a group of about 8 or 9 trucks there, all single file, trying to pull away from that group behind them. On top of that, trying to hopefully have enough fuel to make it to the end of this stage. That group behind them, though, they're all lapped down. They're just trying to unlap themselves. You see those 2x2 way back in the picture. They're not going to be competing for position when they get up here. So, you know, as we wind down the laps, this is a big moment here, Wesley, where drivers may get perhaps a lap down if these drivers can make it to the end of the stage.
This time around, 7 laps to go. 6 to go when they come to the line. Jose Luis Rivera,
Caution.
got one spinning, bottom of the racetrack, in trouble. And while that happens, wow. Cinnamon and Richards, I don't know if they committed to coming onto the pit lane before the yellow flag was thrown or not. They might have been able to make the pit stop. If not, that's going to be a big EOL penalty coming up here. Tyler. I mean, I'd love to see a replay of it, but no, they're not pitting. Look at this. Richards isn't pitting.
Richards isn't pitting because he didn't make it, but Cinnamon is pitting, so Cinnamon will get an EOL. Richards realized he didn't make the line, so he drove through. No penalty. He can drive through it. That's fine. Those go to the tail end, but Cinnamon's going to get a penalty for pitting out in a closed pit. So that's going to be a huge disadvantage for that number 3 machine, but maybe he thought he couldn't get back around. Maybe he needed to take that fuel. But this caution is going to throw a big wrinkle in a lot of plans because it's going to cause a lot of issues here with strategies. We're looking back here. That's Jacob Reeves. We're going to ride on board. We're trying to determine who the cause of this caution was. And Jacob Reeves is going to,
punted from Raul Meza in the back. Yeah, 40, 57, and 37 there.
He was checking up for a very slow car on the inside line, and Raul Meza did not slow up in time. It looked like he got it pretty slowed down before he hit that inside wall, though, so shouldn't be too much damage for the redneck announcer.
Can the NASRA production truck, Biggles, can you show us the 48 and the 3 at the time of caution? And I want to see if we can see somewhere around the time when the caution lights were illuminated, if they were able to come down on the pit lane before the caution lights came on or after.
This is Joey Steyer's.
Richards. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, Robbie Richards, the 48. If we can maybe get like a cockpit view, we should see the pit road lights. Yeah, Robbie Richards, though, now all the way down the 15th position, running on the standings after driving through pit road. But if we can back it up a little bit and then ride in the cockpit, we should be able to see the pit road lights. As it looks like Chris Cinnamon got tagged, which is why he got coming down pit road. He looked like he got ran over from behind. But we should see, Cinnamon gets hit there by Jose Luis Rivera. What a save by the 3 there, Wesley. Holy crap. But you'll see pit road lights there on the left. Are they going to light up? Red means pit road's closed. Pit road is closed. Yep.
Yeah, pit road's closed.
So Richards made the right call by driving through and not pitting. That was Chris Cinnamon, the one who got kind of spun. He pits, and that's going to be a penalty for him because he's after Richards, so he for sure is not going to make. He also just missed pit road. He's going to go through the grass here a little bit, so he'll also have a commitment line violation, I believe, as well.
But you see that standing tower there that's flashing red and white and then green. Green lights mean pit road is open. Red with white means that pit road is closed. They enforce that in NASCAR. We enforce it here in the NASCAR DSR Electric Truck Series and in the All-Star Race. And you can literally visibly see to the left when you saw Cinnamon and Richards coming down pit road lights were flashing red and white, meaning pit road is closed. It wasn't open yet because we were working on getting things lined up on the restart. Here it is in real time. We can put it in regular mode for you, and you can see right there it's already flashing red. Plain as day. And Richards, but here's the deal. Richards recognized it. He knew it. He sped on past pit road. He went on back to the racetrack. Cinnamon did not stop. And because, Richards didn't stop. Cinnamon stopped, and because Chris Cinnamon did stop, then he suffers an EOL penalty for it.
Yeah, he will suffer the penalty for it. We're gonna have to see how this all shakes around with waiver rounds, but I'm not sure. Adam Newton is coming down pit road. Taylor Peacock is coming down pit road. A lot of these drivers, might get trapped a lap down here, and it looks like a couple of them will.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how many drivers get the waiver round, but this is gonna have a big effect there. It looks like Hunter Parsons, he'll get trapped a lap down. Like I said, that caution coming out is a huge change in this race.
Can we get a restart for the end of stage number 3 also, Tyler? That's something to think about. We're on lap number 82.
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. I don't know if race control is going to let them just do like a 1-lap dash. They might. They may have decided, hey, we're just going to, instead of calling the stage earlier, we're going to send out a 1-lap dash here. And it looks like they are going to do that. Yeah, lights are off. So we might have a 2-lap shootout here to end stage number 3. And 18th on back are stuck a lap down, Wesley. That includes Steven Gregory, Cole Hendrickson, Jacob Reeves, Jason Morales, Chris Tate. A lot of big names are stuck a lap down.
Drivers that were up in the front earlier, no doubt. And now look at the man that won last week, Fred Lester. He is the Pied Piper up in the front spot, along with Taylor Peacock. Brian Chu, remember we were talking about him being airborne, flying through the air, but that incident happened between Cinnamon and, of course, Cole Hendrickson and Chris Blanchard. Now, what a difference 50, 30, 40 laps makes. He's up to the number 3 position now in that number 51 machine, and we get ready for the restart. As Tyler mentioned, we will have about less than 2 laps to go here in the DSR Electric All-Star Race at Atlanta in stage number 3. We move to stage 4 in the run to the finish next, but right now we got a couple of laps. I think this might be the furious racing of it all right now as we come back to green with Peacock on the green, leading them into turn number 1, Tyler.
The only driver to win 2 races so far this season. He's the driver who's going to lead here late in stage number 3. He'll have Brian Chu behind him. And they're going to have the Joker, Joey Doucette, there sitting in 3rd. Fred Lester, last week's Iowa winner, all the way up inside the top 5. Joey Stires, who's far back. And Justin White up 32 positions. He's in the 6th spot. Now the 7th spot is they're going to be racing really hard here for the next lap and a quarter.
Brian Chu up high, tries to throw the block on Lester. Lester's now got Johnson and Maurer to close in on them. It's now Doucette, the leader. Joey Doucette, the Joker. One more lap to go in stage 3 at the All-Star race. Here comes now Thomas. He'll get back in tow with Peacock into 1.
Brian Chu's trying to give everything he can to the back of that 81 and Taylor Peacock there, but Joey Doucette has a trunk full of Joey Stires. It's the Joey Show on the bottom, and it's Taylor Peacock, the man everyone fears at Super Speedways, on the top as they come around to the end of stage 3 here in 3 and 4.
Peacock up on the outside, Doucette to the bottom. They try to run each other in. Doucette and Stires can't get there. Taylor Peacock, multiple wins this year, will take stage number 3 here at the All-Star race, and it looks like we are not going to go under caution again. We will stay green going to the finish.
Yeah, we'll stay green. It looks like that they decided since the caution happened early, they were going to just let them run green through here. And that's going to affect a lot of how this race plays out, but now Taylor Peacock will lead that inside line over Joey Doucette. These drivers are going to have their hands full here, especially with differing tire strategies. And now there's only 17 drivers on the lead lap, Wesley. It's a completely different race than it was 15, 20 laps ago.
Less than 55 55 laps to go in this race. As right now, here comes the field closing in on the back straightaway. Taylor Peacock, the Chevrolet. Joey Doucette right there behind him, still continues to pay homage to his mother, Robin Doucette, in the Memorial Tribute Truck out of Oakland, Maine. The Chevrolet right up under the upfront motorsports entry of Peacock as they come to the line. This is the payout run for the money in the All-Star race. Who's the All-Star Nazareth on this Monday night? It's Peacock leading the way in 2.
Yeah, you maybe see these drivers settle down here for a little bit with over 50 laps run to the finish, but you're not seeing any of that right now. These drivers are ready to go. They're up on the wheel, Wesley. They are being aggressive. Brian Chu, Joey Stires in the outside lane. Some DSR electric paint schemes for Dan Gobble's DSR Electric Company. Swim and Swim affiliates leading that outside lane. To the inside lane, though, it's up front, and Joey, the Joker, Doucette there behind him, and he's got, Justin White right behind him as well. So these drivers competing very, very aggressively, still with a lot of time left in this race.
Jokey, the Joker, Joey Doucette right there, as you mentioned, in tow. Joey Stiers out of West Virginia up there up on the outside lane. Look at these awesome images from Biggles, Dean Hopton. This race has been phenomenal. Who's your pick in the chat box to win stage 4 and be the all-star for NASRA on this Monday night? From the top view, aerial view, off of turn 2, the Thundering Herd works with Peacock out in front in 2.
And you know what I've just noticed, Wesley? That third truck in the outside lane is not on the lead lap. That's Cole Hendrickson. He's fighting to be the first truck one lap down. And he actually has to keep fighting because the driver that's right behind him, that's Adam Laney. Those two are physically inside the top 10, but there's 18th and 19th on the scoring sheet right now. And those two drivers are trying to race each other in order to stay ahead and get that lucky dog in case a caution comes out. But that risk also puts them in potential danger zone. We saw our biggest wreck of the night happen up front with Chris Blanchard and Cole Hendrickson earlier. Those two drivers, they're risking it, but it's for a good reason at this point in this race.
But Tyler, you're going to see really how good the 101 of Cole Hendrickson is after he got that EOL penalty after what happened between him and Blanchard, and he fell back, and he's finally coming back from that. His truck is that good that he can race these guys on his own. Remember, we chatted with him earlier, the winner of stage 1 here, and he is trying to naturally, if you will, race the field, clear by the field, be in front of the field besides Adam Lighty. And if he can do that, if a caution was to come out, he would automatically be back on the lead lap. Adam Lighty would get the wave around as well, or get the free pass to wave around back on the lead lap as well. But right now, I see literally Hendrickson's truck being more competitive than Lighty to try to get around these leaders as we're approaching lap 100.
Yeah, and they have Christopher Tate. Really, that entire outside lane behind Shu and Stiers are all lap down trucks. You have Christopher Tate, Jason Morales. And really, if you think about it, they would want to work together to get as many of them ahead of the natural race leader past these guys, because they can get more of them unlapped that way, right? If Cole Hendrickson, Lighty, Tate, and Morales are all ahead of the leader at a time of caution, they all get their laps back inherently like that. And then the fifth driver in line would be able to, take that lucky dog. So if they're trying to work together, especially with three of them being teammates with Hendrickson, Morales, and Hunter Parsons, three drivers lap down, caution's out. So Cole Hendrickson, he'll get his lap back here.
And Adam Lighty will not be able to get it unless the leaders come down to the pit lane and he goes for the wave around. Caution will fly. It's going to be Cole Hendrickson getting the free pass to come back on the lead lap. Caution out on lap 93. I believe that is the fifth caution of the race. As you see the pace truck scampering through the pack to catch the field. We're under yellow flag. Caution flags for NASRA and the DSR Electric Truck Series is presented by ServPro. Fire, water, clean up and restoration. It is ServPro, servpro.com. For more information, we're going to step away and take a break as we're approaching lap 100, and we will cover the pit stops when we return.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Fifth caution of the race. Hello, there we go. And here's a look at the front straightaway of what just happened. Beagles Dean Hopton, thank you for network timeout, and then finding what happened to the 90 to put us under the yellow flag. Kevin battering the 94. There he is, and just over the front of the nose of the 19 of Adam Newton. Other guys going around like Chris Cinnamon. And here's what happens when you're in the front and then you're in the back. As my friend Jimmy Spencer, Mr. Excitement, has always told me when I've seen him at the races, that's the hornet's nest. That's the snake's patch, if you will. You don't want to be in that type of an environment, and you saw just what happened to Cinnamon and Battering because of that there, Tyler.
Yeah, it looked like Newton may have misjudged that a little bit. But yeah, Chris Cinnamon really a big loser because he got hit again after coming back across the track. So he's got significant damage on that 3 machine. He is fixed it. He's off pit road. We're about to go back to green flag racing, but he does have significant damage. He'll be starting at the end of the longest line due to additional pit stops.
Stephen Thomas up in front from Elkview, West Virginia, the DSR electric machine for Chrome Racing, trying to win the DSR electric all-star race down in Atlanta. Here they come down to the line. It'll be 44 laps to go when they come back to the Geico restart zone, and there is still a lot of racing left in Atlanta, and I got a feeling it's about to become hot Atlanta as we come back to the restart. It's going to be Stiers, now Chew, Peacock, White, all watching this going back into turn number 1.
Yeah, not a great restart there for Taylor Peacock in the outside lane. Obviously, the Swim Chrome alliance working well for the inside lane of Chew and Stiers there. But now Justin White's going to get a big shove from Stephen Thomas in that 420 machine, the Elkview, West Virginia native. Joker, Joey Doucette, he's going to try and follow through on the inside. But now you have DSR Electric and Swim and Chrome Racing controlling the first 2 lanes there. Both lines as well, Wesley. They have the top 4 spots.
Joey Stiers back in that top position. Justin White, remember the 2 had problems earlier. How about Brian Chew, the Daytona winner? I believe I could fly earlier when the accident happened in 3. Rallies back. He's in the hunt for the win. 3 Toyotas battle with a Chevrolet in 4th as they hit the backstretch.
Yeah, Justin White, the lone Chevrolet right now in that group of top 4. He's got another Chevy, and that's Taylor Peacock back in the 5th spot. But Justin White finding a little bit of momentum there on the bottom thanks to Stephen Thomas helping him along the way. Joey Stiers and Brian Chew fight back on the outside. Stiers will lead that lap. But these drivers, for as much calamities we've seen, they're not backing down at all. They're still racing very aggressively, pushing hard, and we still got over 40 laps to go.
There goes Brian Chew up under the back of the tailgate of the 23 machine of Joey Stiers. Now to the inside, Justin White, Stephen Thomas now, all going at it. Behind them, it's Peacock and Doucette. They work their way into the corner this time by, approaching lap 100. And now, next time by, it'll be fruition. 40 laps to go. When they come back to the stripe, they're not done yet. They're door to door. It's Stiers up high into 1.
Stiers not holding that middle lane as well as the driver behind him, and Brian Chew drifting up a little bit there in 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Taylor Peacock sitting there in the catbird seat waiting for someone to make a mistake so he can capitalize, but seems just a little too early. Looks like he's not going to make that move yet. Meanwhile, as you look back through the rest of the field, it's just 2 by 2 by 2. The field is under a blanket right now. All 16 drivers there. Call it within about 2 seconds for the top 16. You can go back to, Chris Cinnamon and Jeff Johnson who are at the tail end of the pack. They're still on the lead lap back in the 16th and 17th position.
Putting lap 100 on the board. A century grind is complete here at the ATL, and there is 40 laps to go. Time to get those ponds, those virtual trucks into position for checkmate on the field. Who's it gonna be? Justin White leads the cavalry now to the bottom. Here comes Stiers to battle back on the outside. He'll get him by 1/1000th of a second. White wheel at the line, and they're not done, going back to 1.
And this is what you can expect from Atlanta. Lead changes every lap because these 2 lanes will just go back and forth, back and forth. Whoever gets a better shove off of 4 from the driver behind them is going to have that momentum going down to the front straightaway. You see 3 wide further back in this main pack. That's always a tense moment, especially here at Atlanta with over 39 laps to go here as they're coming to the line to complete lap 102. Looking for lap 103 on the stripe. That lap would have gone to Stiers.
Show they put on tonight here at the All-Star race. It is still Justin White and Joey Stiers flip-flopping back and forth. One lap, it's the deuce. The next lap, it's the 23. Down the back straightaway, they're still stride for stride. Here comes now Thomas on the bottom. Here comes Chew up on the outside. And they're going to try to play Maverick and Goose for these guys as they work off four.
Yeah, these drivers working well together so far up front, but you're seeing drivers shuffling a lot. That's a lot of the lap down drivers trying to get themselves into that lead lap position, right? You see drivers like Kerry Tribune there in the field, Christopher Tate, they're all laps down. They're actually fighting to be the first driver on the lead lap there, as you see Blake Lothian and Dana Shepard in the purple car on the bottom and that white and red car on the outside. Those are the last drivers on the lead lap, and then right behind them you see Kerry Tribune and Christopher Tate. Those drivers are both one lap down. They're fighting to get the lucky dog for the next caution.
And they're starting to get 3 wide behind at least the top 10, trying to get shuffled in position. Here they come, poking out of line. I just saw the front of the nose of the 48 of Robert Richards. There you see him up on the top. 6 truck back on the outside. He's now back in the dance to try to help out his teammate Justin White as they work the backstretch going to 3.
Yeah, Robbie Richards finding himself back inside the top 10 for the time being. He's trying to get by. He's trying to help his teammate, actually, Christopher Tay, or teammate adjacent, the Mission 1 Esports driver on Friday night. I don't believe he's officially Mission 1 Esports on the Monday night series, but they're trying to work together, trying to get someone who's a partner with him. See, Christopher Tate's going to go to the outside of Blake Lothian. That's a lap truck. He wants positioning in case there's a yellow here shortly. He knows he has to be well clear of Kerry Tribune if he wants to have a shot at that lucky dog. Best way to do it is move yourself up one more truck place. And he's going to stay tough here on the outside as they go down the back straightaway.
Hanging tough on the outside. He's up at the top shelf for Grandma. Hides Valentine's Day cookies from Grandpa instead of dentures. Here they come out of turn 4. 3 wide as he still stays up against the safer barrier. Finds a way to wiggle, jiggle, giggle, bobble to sneak and slither his way. He got loose and he still held it together into 1.
That 30 machine is fast. He's able to do a lot of it on his own. And it's helping that he has drivers like Stiers and Chu who kind of naturally drift up in their corner. They don't hold a perfectly tight line, right? You'll see Stiers get a little bit loose. He holds it tighter, but Tate's able to get back in line there. Tate just guaranteed himself the lucky dog, barring a caution at the front of the field, because right now the next driver, that's Kerry Tribune, he's about 3-4 rows back. So what a move by Tate to put himself in the best position for the lucky dog.
Absolutely fanatical racing, phenomenal racing going on here is right now. Here comes Brian Chu. He'll battle alongside Stephen Thomas working down that back straight. Look at this from this aerial view, way high above Atlanta Motor Speedway as they are super speedway style, working through the tunnel turn, down into turn number 3, working off of turn 4. Here they come, storming down to the double dog leg off of that 4th turn. Anybody's race up for grabs as they're still up in front. It is fast and furious, and now it is going to be again Stiers going to the lead as they work into turn number 2.
Yeah, Christopher Tate doesn't care about the Swim Chrome Alliance up front. He's trying to get ahead of these drivers to naturally unlap himself, or at least continue to maintain that position to guarantee that he will be the lucky dog should a caution come out here, as his next closest rival, that's Kerry Tribune, is about the 6th car in line on the bottom. Nope, call it the 5th car now in line on the bottom. Meanwhile, Christopher Tate, 3rd car in line on the outside. He has the advantage, but that's 2 separate races going on right now, Wesley, right? There's the battle for the lucky dog in this pack and jostling for what positions they can get, and there's the battle for the race lead between the Swim and Chrome drivers.
So here's the deal. He is the first truck 1 lap down in 18th spot. Christopher Tate is. He is doing shades of what Cole Henriksen did to get back on the lead lap right there amongst the front leaders as well. Cole Henriksen, by the way, back on the lead lap for the number 12 spot. In that back of that pack there, he's still in the hunt. But all this is happening now with 30 laps to go. Stiers up the outside. Brian Chu with a shot in the shorts on the outside of the tailgate. Tate's right there. Justin White stays to the inside, and those Toyotas are 4 now battling the backstretch.
Yeah, and based on what we saw in stages 2 and 3, Wesley, we're assuming these drivers have to make one more pit stop at least for fuel to make it to the end.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have a set of tires left, you want to use them because you want to be able to make all the aggressive moves you need to make late in this race as they're coming to 29 laps to go. Stiers should lead that lap over Justin White. He will. As we look back at the field here from the lead driver of Joey Stiers, saddling side by side with Justin White. And behind him, Justin White's got a rear full of Stephen Thomas, who's got a rear full of Joey the Joker Doucette.
Everybody in the top 8 hit it on lap 80 or 81 from 9th on back, as I mentioned, Robert Richards, they all pitted into the top 17 with Jeffrey Johnson, the last truck of the lead lap at lap 94 and 95. So they might stay out a little bit longer. They might be the guys that are going for the undercut. But honestly, if we do not get a caution flag, you are going to see green flag pit stops be determined the outcome of this race finish in the All-Star race here at Atlanta. Joey Stiers leads to the backstretch. It's White to the inside. It is Chew Thomas to set your top 5. The lap machine at Tate up on the top, and they work 4.
We saw what happened the last time with green flag stops, Wesley. It really spread out the field, especially with the deferring strategies. But eventually the two groups that pitted before we had that caution did get back together. Meanwhile, that third group who stayed out did not get reacclimated by the rest of the field. So we may see drivers try and extend it in hopes that they get a late race caution to take advantage of fresher tires. But right now I'm thinking that these drivers are going to have to come in the next 10 to 15 laps here as we get closer and closer to the finish of the All-Star race.
And if they did that, that would be around lap number 125, 130, meaning there'd be 15 or 10 laps to go in the race. And right there's 26 to go now as they work their way back into turn number 1. And White and Stiers not backing away, getting around battering the lap machine to the bottom of the apron. And they're still doing a door off too.
And that's the crazy thing. You're going to have drivers pitting with less than 25 to go. And you're thinking, man, less than 25 to go. I don't have to be worried about getting down on pit road, especially going 180, 175 miles an hour in these corners. And I'm worried about getting run over like Chris Cinnamon did when he had that incident where he pit while coming down because he got hit in the rear. Oh, in trouble. Brian Shu gets off the wall. Can they save it?
Nope, they're not done.
More trucks.
They're wrecking. Trouble. Turn number 1 and 2. And I think the lap machine might have got collected. Hendrickson involved. Kerry Tribune, Hunter Parsons. Oh no! This all started when Justin White. And I believe it was the Brian Chew ran each other down to the bottom of the infield grass, and then it was everybody on the blinders from there. But here you go. Tyler Dittmer, this was the caution that many did not want, but a lot did, and this changes everything now.
It does, and we're going to have to see exactly. We see one driver way down. I think that's Dana Shepard, that purple scheme. We're going to have to, that's Dana Shepard. They're wrecking even more so on the outside lane. We'll have to maybe get a ride along with Kerry Tribune, the number 7 machine, if possible.
So
he's currently 30th on the standings, SDK for a producer.
You see Justin White and Brian Chew right there. Brian Chew's up on the
Kerry
top.
Tribune is perfect. Kerry Tribune, though, is perfect for the actual wreck because it looks like Brian Chew and I want to say Justin White kind of get away from this scot-free. Yes, they go through the grass, but they don't get involved in this massive wreck that happens after the fact. And we're going to see them shoot down.
It looked like Brian dropped to the bottom of the outside lane to the inside and kind of pinched off Justin White. And then from here, like you said, this is the wreck.
Yeah, you see, it looks like, and that's teammates there, Jason Morales and Kerry Tribune getting into each other. That's going to take out Hunter Parsons, another Highline Racing driver. Jose Castellanos is involved. Robbie Richards barely gets through there. And a bunch more involved there. That's 27. That's Steve Barnett. That's another Highline Racing driver. Castellanos just comes back down the track there, not holding his brake. Takes out Hunter Parsons more. But wow, this changes everything, Wesley. Like literally everything.
By the way, Christopher Tate did miss that wreck. He is back on the lead lap and in the top 10. Quick break, and we get ready for a shootout at Atlanta after we wrap up our 6th Serve Pro Caution, the DSR Electric All-Star Race on the NASRA 360 Racing Network. Thank you to Premier Racing Setups. And as Tyler, you said, what, 15% off? And then a majority of the funds.
15% off.
Yeah, and the majority of the funds go back towards helping out NASRA. So that's really cool for the leagues, man. Appreciate that. Thank you to Premier Racing Setups for jumping on board as one of our newest partners. Thanks also to the ones that are scrolling up on the top right of the broadcast. Thank you also, of course, to the premier title sponsor of the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series, DSR Electric, and the All-Star Race. Thank you to ServPro for the caution, servpro.com for more information. The Glass Mechanic for the Stage 2 sponsor. And sometime when this race is coming to the end of the next 20 laps, the white flag is presented by Darren's Nail Gun Repair. Tyler Dittmer, I am Wesley Outland. Biggles, Dean Hopton is producing. Biggles, I'll bring you in real quick. What do you think of the All-Star race, man? Hey, now you're an All-Star in Atlanta. All right. We'll see how all this shakes up here in the finish, right? All right. Yes, sir. 21 laps to go when they come back to the restart zone here this time by, and the green flag will come back out. No, it will not. They are holding off on the restart. Looks like they're going to make another lap around here, Tyler.
Sorry
I was going to say...
Yep, go ahead, gentlemen. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead,
You
Dean.
asked me a question before, but I was muted in the background, you see, because you slapped me in the production trailer. All right, I didn't want to say there's crickets going at the moment there. I'm going to get you on that one. Anyway, 21 to go, gentlemen. And a lovely 30 of you out there watching the DSR Truck Series. It's electrifying. Well, anyway, back to you in the studio.
I think our producer has a little too much fun there, Wesley.
We're ready to go back for the restart as it'll be 20 laps to go when they wrap up the 6th caution of the race. And I'll be honest here, guys, I just think you just literally threw gasoline on the fire here at the new virtual Atlanta Super Speedway, and I think we're going to see a lot of craziness here to decide the All-Star race winner for sure. And you got to remember, there's bragging rights on the line to be the All-Star race winner, Tyler, but there's also points on the line. A championship hangs in the balance. You qualify for the Dash for Cash. There's a lot weighing in this 20 laps here as we get ready to come back to green, buddy.
Yeah, a lot weighing. 23 drivers on the lead lap. Strap in, pull those belts tight one more time. It's about to get crazy.
Here they come. Ready for, again, the restart in the Geico restart zone. Jose Luis Rivera, Joey Stiers, Blake Lothian, Stephen Thomas, Joey Doucette right now with Taylor Peacock, the first 3 rows. Green flag flies, 20 laps to go. Lap 121 of 140 in the DSR Electric All-Star Race. They're back into turn number 1 with Rivera leading the way.
Yeah, the Chrome Racing driver, Jose Luis Rivera, your Phoenix winner earlier this season. He's back in the lead. We hadn't seen him for a couple of weeks, at least up in the front, but 20 laps to go. That 20 machine is where he needs to be competing for a race win. Meanwhile, Taylor Peacock's got a rear full of Robbie Richards there on the outside lane. Joey Doucette, the Joker, trying to get Blake Lothian clear and try to compete there on the bottom.
Here they come to the line, 19 laps to go as they come thundering by the start-finish line, working up the bank and into turn 1. Here comes a shot by Stiers. Under pressure is Thomas. Peacock is there. So is Richards, the outside lane, coming to work on the inside in 2.
You see those trucks bobbing and weaving back and forth. They don't really like the handling of these trucks right now, but they're handling great for us up here in the booth. The action's picking up. 19 to go, looking for 18 to go. The lines are pretty much even right now. Chrome Racing and Swim controlling each lane right now with Jose Luis Rivera and Joey Stiers.
And remember, Chrome Racing branched away from what was Swim, Sick With It Motorsports, as this all goes on, working off of turn number 2. They're going at it down the back stretch. Here we go. No one jumping out of line yet. Joey Stiers now the lead on the outside as they work on Rivera into 3.
Broke away, but still very, very close, working together. There's troubles in the back of the field. Cars around, hard into the outside wall.
Caution, crash. One truck
Justin
has spun,
White.
another one to the bottom. Justin White to the number 2 machine. Caution
like
out.
Justin White.
7th time here in Atlanta with 17 to go.
Yeah, Justin White, I think, was the
Wow.
driver who took the hard hit there. Yeah, and he definitely had a hard lick there. Not exactly sure what happened there. Someone to his inside, if we maybe a closer camera.
I'm going to tell our audience that we said this about the drivers and for our production. It is so hard, so damn hard because of the sun here in the morning time conditions to sometimes get a view. Look at the sun glaring right there on that truck. It is really difficult to sometimes get a good pinpoint accuracy on who it is. And there you see Justin White again.
Well, the
Oh,
first
who gave him
incident
a
happens
shot?
with that. Jacob Reeves hits him after, but the first guy who hits him is that
Ron Hunter?
red and gold truck. No,
Yeah.
it's below him. It's to his left. You can't see it. Yeah, it's the red and gold truck there. That's is that
the 32.
Travis
It's the
Twitty?
32. Yeah, it's the 32
Travis
machine.
Twitty. Yeah.
And Twitty, then Reeves, and there you see the end result right there as Reeves got into the left rear. And I'll be honest, Twitty had already got into White. Reeves just kind of had nowhere to go and got into the left rear and caused more, if you will, insult to injury for him. And around he went and crashed into the wall. And there you see it, caution out. Oh boy, man. Wow.
And these cautions breed cautions. It's cautions breed cautions, Wesley, and we're seeing that calamity right now here. More drivers that are getting back on the lead lap because of this situation, drivers coming into pit, so on and so forth. Steve Barnett just got the wave around the lucky dog, Wesley. As you know, we're going to be under 15 laps to go when we go green here in a short bit of time. Hunter Parsons, though, on pit road to get a lot of his damage fixed. As we're chatting with your race leader, Jose Luis Rivera was with Wesley.
Jose, what would it mean, man, to be the all-star for NASCAR on this Monday night? And it's good to see you back on the Monday night circuit.
Yes, sir. I've missed running the Monday night series. But, man, it would mean a lot. I haven't won an all-star race since I joined this league.
How crazy has it been out there?
It's been pretty wild. I've been trying to avoid most of the drama for the entirety of this race. I've done well so far. I mean, it's like we're coming to the home stretch, so that's kind of scary, but here we are.
Jose, what would it mean to you to be the first Chrome Racing driver to get 2 wins in the season if you can pull it off here tonight in Atlanta?
Man, that would be awesome. I had Atlanta checked on my book for a while. I mean, you know, I love super speedway racing.
Do you race these guys differently that are your swim crew, kind of like comrades, but you're kind of doing your own thing with Chrome Racing? What are we going to see here at the finish?
I mean, we're a team here. We're hoping to get we're hoping to get a win for Chrome Racing. But you know, at the end of the day, it is everyone for themselves. We all want the win.
All for
but yeah,
one,
we'll just see how this goes down.
All. There you go, buddy. Well, man, thank you so much for your time. Good luck.
Jose,
can
you give us a wiggle on your steering wheel just to make sure everybody knows this is not pre-recorded? There you go. Thank you. That's all I wanted. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. Well, there is Jose Luis Rivera. And you heard it there. Swim and Chrome, they're actually working with one another here. And it's, even though you just heard him say it, it's every man for themselves at the end of the day here. Tyler.
Yeah, exactly, Wesley. You know, you're going to work with your affiliates, kind of like what you see in NASCAR with the Toyotas and the Chevys and the Fords. They'll work with each other. But when it comes to 2 laps to go, Daytona 500 this weekend, but 2-3 laps to go, you don't care who's around you. You're trying to get your way to the front. You want to go win that big prize.
This will wrap up Caution Flag number 7, presented by StirPro, reminding you, go to StirPro.com to find out how they can make old things, destroy things, fired, burn, water things brand new with StirPro's help. That's StirPro.com. Green flag back out, 14 laps to go here at Atlanta, and it is about to become a wild restart. Rivera under attack by a couple of green machines on the outside. Stiers, Thomas, Peacock, they're all there as they work into turn 2.
Dana Shepard, who had the off-track excursion earlier, if getting a little help from Carriageway, he's back inside the top 10. He's reestablished himself on that inside lane behind the Joker. Those 2 purple trucks running nose to tail. Meanwhile, Jose Luis Rivera's got a trunk full of Blake Lothian. Joey Stiers has a trunk full of Steven Thomas. The Swim Chrome affiliates right now controlling 3 of the top 4 positions for the time being as they work now 13 laps to go. I don't think we're done wrecking yet, though, Wesley.
No, I really don't. I think that we're definitely going to be more pegged with aggressiveness for remainder of this event for sure. The bragging rights of wanting to be the all-star race winner. The points are on the line. Who can win a race? If you're a non-points winner, you could win a race and put yourself in the playoffs. All of this is being decided right now as they work into the corner. Out of turn number 4, they come thundering down. The virtual herd and their kaleidoscope of colors flash across the stripe at Atlanta. It's 12 laps to go. Time's running out, though. You better get in play as now Stiers goes to the lead in 1.
Stiers goes to the lead, but look who's sitting there third in the outside lane. That's Taylor Peacocker, 2-time race winner this season. He's looking to be the first driver to get to 3. No other driver actually has more than 1. The only multi-race winner at this point in the year, as we're in race number 11. Taylor Peacock's trying to find a way to get his number 81 back to victory lane.
All this happening now as they come working down to the line. Here they close in off turn 4, 2, 3 wide behind them. Here we go back to do-si-do, 2 by 2. Here they got a 2-step up the banking. It's Stiers on the outside. Rivera, though, will not back down. He's got a new reprieve. He's in the lead to the inside, but here comes Stiers to battle back into 3.
Christopher Tate doing what he did earlier, making it 3 wide. Looks like Adam Newton also jumped up there. He'll make it 3 wide as well. He's going to be now stuck the lone man on the outside. He's got no help. Tate jumps back down to the middle lane. He's going to go with Cole Hendrickson for the time being. Newton is falling back. He's been shuffled out of line. Tate look to the bottom. The bottom lane stacks up. He'll go back to the outside in that middle of that big pack there. Meanwhile, up front, Joey Stiers still holds the lead over Jose Luis Rivera.
10 laps to go in the All-Star race. Down that back straightaway. Don't forget the dash for cash. The next 4 races before the playoffs in season 3. I can't believe we're already talking about that. Here they come, storming off turn 4, funneling down to the line. Here comes a little crossover move. It's now Doucette with some help from Blake Lothian. He's after Rivera. Meanwhile, the Green Machine's on the outside. They work together 9 to go out of 2.
The green machines are on that outside. Wesley called it perfectly. Those first 3 trucks on the outside, all green, but 2 different race teams really affiliated there. The Swim Chrome, that front 2 on the outside, that's Stiers, and that's Stephen Thomas. But Taylor Peacock, that up front driver, he's looking to make his way to the front, get his 3rd win of the season. Meanwhile, Jose Luis Rivera powers back to the inside. He's trying to lead a lap. That lap would have gone to Jose.
And there's a look at the battle for first and the 7 drivers that are in that now contest as the Wellesley, Massachusetts driver. You're on board with now Lothian. Now you're on board with the West Virginia driver, Stephen Thomas. They're right there alongside one another. And here they go stride for stride with a little punt there. It's now going to be Thomas to help Stiers get the lead in their record. It's going to be upside down. Tate's involved. Some other trucks are crashing, and they're still crashing as Tate is going through a massive flip, airborne several times before he drops to the bottom of the apron and lands on all 4s. A big crash for Christopher Tate and others as they come to the line with 7 to go here in Atlanta.
And with that,
was that Joey Doucette? I think it was Doucette that got crashed.
No, it was Dana Shepard, the other purple
Shepard
truck.
Again. Oh, man.
Dana Shepard involved there, right behind Joey Doucette. But I want to ride on board with Christopher Tate, that 30 truck. Let's go in the cockpit. I think that's the best view for this driver.
Yeah, let's go on board with him. And you
he's
know,
going to
Tyler,
try and put this 3 wide like he
Tyler,
did earlier.
It's so heartbreaking for Christopher Tate, the man out of Decatur, Texas. Let's take a listen, though, first, and then we'll respond. Listen. Oh, no. And you think you're done, and there's that massive barrel roll down the banking and onto the apron back on all 4s. And here's the thing, honestly, as I was going to say, Tyler, Christopher Tate had to rally running through the front of the racing pack lead lap to guys to get back on the race, to get back in the lead lap, to get back in the hunt of things here at the end. And then here's the end result. On board with Fred Lester, Iowa winner last week. Look at this. Into the catch fence. Castellanes, Barrett, Hendrickson is crashed. Wow.
Looks like Maurer just kind of stopped his truck trying to avoid while they all continue to wreck. I think Jacob Reeves, Hunter Parsons were also a little bit involved there as well. And yeah, there's Jose Castellanos. He's looking at Steve Barnett there. Steve Barnett involved. There's Travis Twitty. Yep. And Castellanos just nowhere to go. Kind of just sandwiched in there in that big wreck. Wow. A lot of good trucks. There's Parsons gets hit again by Lester coming down the track. So just just unfortunate. And for Dana Shepard's night and for a lot of other nights, Christopher Tate, he was able to make some amazingly good moves. And we bring Christopher Tate into the booth now. Christopher, we saw you be a driver who could, be a lap truck and get back towards the front of the pack and race got back on the lead lap there. And you end up barrel rolling down 3 and 4 there. Kind of just talk us through what you saw, because when we rode on board with your camera, it looked like you really couldn't see much. You just see, the driver get turned across your nose.
Yeah, I think you pretty much just explained it. And it's really all about just going down the crunch time there, and I was just trying to push my teammate up to the front there. And I guess I don't feel like I've hardly ever even touched him, but that's what you get with worn tires and all of that. It doesn't take much to get the trucks loose. So
as I said, Chris Tate, I think you retired from the race. I believe he's out of the race, Dean, if you want to go back to regular Panda race shots. But Chris, I said this, man, you got mired back earlier in the race and fell a lap down, and then you strategically worked your way back up to the front. It's got to be heartbreaking to be right in the hunt for the All-Star win and to have something like that happen. It's really not your fault. It's not of your doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically run in this league. I was lucky enough to even get in it into this series. So I don't know. It's all about really just trying to go out there and have a good time, racing some new people. Unfortunately, didn't end the way I was hoping for, but all in all, it was actually really good racing. I enjoyed it. Just wrong place, wrong time, I guess.
All right. Well, we thank Christopher Tate for his time, and we'll put him back in the box with his crew. And we got to settle the shootout here. And honestly, time is running out in this race as well. They're coming to the green flag, and it'll be a 4-lap shootout here in the All-Star race. Let's see what happens as Jose Luis Rivera continues to hold his on, being up in the top. Joey Stiers, Blake Lothian, Stephen Thomas, Taylor Peacock. And here we go, 4 laps to go. That's less than 6 miles here in Atlanta in the Super Speedway All-Star race. As they work into turn number 1, here comes the Green Machines battling back on Rivera, back into 1 and 2.
Thomas got locked up there with Stiers really well as they entered 1 and 2. Peacock going up to the outside, trying to follow those Green Machines. They're locked up really well down the back straightaway. Lothian not able to get to Jose Luis Rivera as much as he wants. Taylor Peacock's going to force the issue 3 wide. Joker Joey Doucette looks to go with him.
Wow, 3 wide. Hold on to it as they work their way off the corner. Down to the line, 3 to go. Here comes Peacock up on the top. He's got Doucette to help. Raul Meza is coming also, and now it's going to be Stiers to get a wiggle, and there's a caution. Yellow flag will fly. Trouble on the racetrack. This will force overtime in the All-Star race. Here's a look at what happened in the back. Adam Lighty. Kevin Battering, I believe, in the 94, and I believe it's Dana Shepard again there, Tyler.
Yeah, it is Dana Shepard. It looks like just a little bit of a pinch there. There's not enough space for all 3 trucks. Spotters may not have been on top of their game on that one. Looks like Justin White's going to get involved in another incident. I mean, his night has been just rough, to say the least. After having a really good run in the middle of that race, Wesley, he was up inside the top 5, top 10 for a little while, but since then it's kind of fallen downhill. But you're going to have a new leader on this late race, green-white checkered attempt number 1. Joey Stiers will be leading the field instead of Jose Luis Rivera. He'll have control. He'll probably pick to choose Stephen Thomas right behind him, but that means Jose Luis Rivera is going to have Taylor Peacock to work with on this late race restart.
So just like last night in Super Bowl 58, where the Taylor Swifty Chiefs win in overtime, this race, the All-Star race for the DSR Electric Truck Series, will go to overtime at Atlanta. We shuffle the cards. We get ready to go. We will step away. Overtime racing to determine the Monday Night All-Star winner for Nazareth when we return.
for Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations, made with love for you.
Well, we're ready for overtime. Tyler Dittmer, let everybody know how overtime rules apply, as we are going to get the one to go indication, I believe, this time by. There's the Iowa winner from last week, Fred Lester, still on pit road.
Yeah, overtime here at Nazareth works the same way. Even in the All-Star race, the drivers will get 3 attempts to make it to the white flag. If they make it to the white flag, the next flag ends it if it's a caution or a checkered. Otherwise, we will re-rack them and do them again if they can't make it back around to the white flag. Again, 3 attempts. This will be our first attempt, considering the first one happened with about 4 laps to go. So this will be our first of 3 possible attempts. Hopefully, we only need this one, though, Wesley.
And we'll try to see how all this shakes down here for overtime as the lights are off on the pace truck. Joey Stiers is now the leader in that number 23 machine. I'm trying to think, I don't think he's won a race this year, has he? Can we put up the winning graphic with the locked in?
I don't think he has either.
I don't think he has.
Yeah, no. He has not, from my understanding, but I can see if I can find at least the playoff bracket and at least speak to it.
Trying to look. Yeah, if we can see the playoff bracket real quick, Mr. Engineer, Dean Hopton.
No, he is not. He's currently 15th in points, so he's definitely not locked in.
Well, look at that. Look what would happen if he won this race. Joey Stiers, 15th in points. He would put himself into the playoffs by winning the All-Star race here tonight. And remember, he had a phenomenal race at Daytona, remember? He won the All-Star, well, not the All-Star race, but the Cops Truck Series opener at Daytona a couple of weeks ago for the NASCAR Cops Series on Friday night. When I had the privilege to work with Jacob and Robert in the booth. And we're going to go now for overtime 1. Green flag in the air. Remember, they got to take the Darren Snell Gun Repair white flag. If they don't, they got 2 more attempts. If they can't get the white flag after the 3rd time, the field is frozen at time of caution. Right now, Joey Stiers leads them off at 2 in the lead.
Taylor Peacock trying to give Jose Luis Rivera all he can handle, but that outside lane's not working as well as the inside is right now, this time being. Stephen Thomas, though, and Joey Stiers working really well together on the bottom. Just locked bumpers at this point in time, but can it last? Thomas has to worry about that engine a little bit. Obviously, that caution should cool it down, but now they're going to be offset.
Whoa.
Almost a wreck there between the leaders. Jose Luis Rivera will hold the lead that time.
But they took the white flag, the Darren Snell Gun Repair white flag. Race is official. Here comes Peacock. He gets around Stiers. He gets around Rivera. He's looking for the lead into turn 2.
Joey the Joker Doucette makes it 3 wide, move him up into the 4th position. He's looking for a way around, but he's got no drafting help. Newton and Rivera getting to the wall. Multiple drivers in there. They keep it straight. Taylor Peacock looking to block as they come off the line. Taylor Peacock, 3-time winner.
Peacock is going to win the All-Star race, and they are going to crash and tear him up behind them. Taylor Peacock, he has been the man that has dominated this year. He had a couple of wins before the All-Star race, and now Taylor Peacock pulls his playing card at the right time and pulls the trigger on the shootout to win the All-Star race for DSR Electric Monday night in Atlanta. What a finish. Taylor Peacock, 7 1/1000ths of a second over Thomas, 9 1/1000ths of a second over Joey Stiers. One we will not forget in the All-Star annals of history for Nazareth there, Tyler Dittmer.
I mean, what a race and what a move by Peacock there to kind of get by Jose Luis Rivera when Stiers and Thomas got messed up coming to the white flag off of 4. They had a bad push. Thomas almost turned Stiers. Peacock uses that to push Rivera clear as he burns it down, and then he gets himself clear, jumps to the bottom, and just blocks perfectly right there. You see he's already taken the position, and now he's just got to hold off that chrome swim duo of Stiers and Thomas. Not a big enough run behind. You're going to see Doucette clip Stiers there, and this group's going to wreck across the line, unfortunately. You see Lothian's going to get turned there, Richards and many more involved, but all after they cross the line, so not affecting their finishes. But the three trucks going to post-race interviews, Wesley, they're all at least kind of clean.
My goodness, man. What a crazy race here. And of course, they went into double overtime here tonight. Obviously, 143 laps because of the overtime extra. But here's a look at the results. Is Taylor Peacock is the winner of the All-Star race for up front. It's going to be Stephen Thomas second, Joey Steyer's third. We'll grab those drivers in post-race in just a moment. Blake Lothian, Joey Doucette, your top five. Everybody that crashed after they took the checkered flag, so the race is official. Robert Richards, Adam Newton, Jeffrey Johnson, Jacob Reeves, Steve Barnett, Raul Meza right now outside the top 10. Then it's Stephen Gregory, Nate Bauer, Brian Chu, Brandon Bullock, Jose Luis Rivera falls all the way back to 16th. Cole Hendrickson, after having that hiccup with Blanchard in the early going to the All-Star race in stage 2, Tyler, he ends up in 17th as we continue the NRE Power Systems post-race interview wrap-up.
Yeah, and looking back throughout the rest of the field, right, Rivera went from second, or really leading, actually, coming at the white flag to 16th, like you said, just a crazy finish. Looking back through the rest of the results here, rounding out your top 20, Dana Shepard rebounds after a lot of late race wrecks. Hunter Parsons will finish 19th. Adam Lighty rounding out your top 20. Then you have Chris Kynes, Jason Bridges, and Fred Lester, your last truck on the lead lap. After that, Hammond, Martin, White, and Hunter all several laps down. The rest of the field also several laps down, involved in one wreck or 4 wrecks or maybe all 6 wrecks, Wesley.
Yeah, and of course, for a guy like Taylor Peacock, he has now punched his ticket with his third win this year. Driver of the number 81 machine out of Fowler, Indiana, the Blanchards towing up Front Motorsports entry. And we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will grab the top 3 on the podium as the NRE Power Systems post-race interviews wrap-up rolls on from the All-Star race for NASRA at Atlanta. We're back in a moment.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Welcome back to Atlanta, and the celebration is on in the DSR Electric All-Star Race along with Tyler Dittmer. I am Wesley Outland, Beagles, Dean Hopton. Phenomenal job on the production for round number 12 of the season in the books, and the final 4 races will be exciting Dash for Cash shows to the playoffs. And the man that has got the most wins of anybody now one up on him again, Taylor Peacock. You're the all-star for NASRA in season 3. Congratulations, man.
Hell yeah, sounds great. That was an awesome race, man. Whew. Still sweating.
Before Tyler, I got to ask him this question, man. Obviously, you had some problems earlier in the race. I got kind of caught up in things that went on. It happens, right? Was the strategy to kind of fall back and wait for about the final stage to start to come to the front because you knew that there was going to be trouble in the front of the packs or mid-pack? What was the way that you got through making it to this race and winning?
Having the 2 wins, I knew I just wanted the win at the end. I didn't care about none of those 3 stages, the playoff points, none of that. I wanted the W at the end, so I laid back. I actually never got caught up in any wrecks. I avoided 1 wreck down the grass once, and I got 1 X. I think I might have the least X's out of anybody, but I kept it clean the whole race. And I hit strategy just right. Some of them guys stayed out to get stage points, and by the time they had to pit under green flag, it screwed a bunch of guys. So I was on the right end of strategy this time, and was able to do what I needed to do to get the win there.
I gotta ask Taylor, that last move, right? You're on the outside behind Rivera, but when you watch how everything plays out, right, you see Thomas kind of get Steyer's uneven off of 4. Did you realize at that point in time, if you just push Rivera clear and can get yourself clear, you can get down and kind of control the race from there?
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Me and Joey's plan was to get going and then jump to the outside of Jose, but once I realized I just pushed the hell out of him. I just pushed the hell out of Jose, and once I got clear, I hopped to the bottom. I'm glad Jose didn't block it right there, because it probably would have been a wreck. But yeah, I knew right when I seen, like you just said, I just seen them get uneven just a little bit. I knew my chances right then and now, and I got to get it.
Taylor Peacock, obviously, I don't know if you knew this or not, my friend, but this is your 200th career race with NASRA tonight as well, man. That's got to be pretty special. And in addition to that, this is your 13th career win, third this season. Are you thinking championship run with the way your year's been?
For sure. I definitely got work to do on the 1.5 miles, so I need to put some seat time in. But for sure, I'm accumulating all these playoff points. I need to do something with them, not let them go to waste.
Well, man, All-Star, thank your sponsors, and good luck. We'll see you next week at the next one.
I like Blanchard's towing. Blanchard does quite a bit with. He's good to race for. Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling, Richie B's, Pulse Poppers. Definitely got to give Brady a shout out. All he puts up with and all what he does for the league. Shout out to Brady. DSR Electric Truck Series. Definitely got to thank you guys for always being out here, putting on a good show. Like I said, I always love going back and watching it. You guys always do a hell of a job. And my teammates, Joey, it's good working with him at the end. It sucks that some of the other ones didn't have as good as finishes, but it's always good working with the guys that up front. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, buddy. Again, the driver, of course, from the number 81 out of Fowler, Indiana. It's the Upfront Motorsports Chevrolet. Taylor Peacock, his third win this year in his 200th career start with NASRA since its inception. And again, his 13th career all-time win. Pretty good numbers for the man that's on the run for championship and ready to go for those Dash for Cash races next week, beginning at Kansas, Bristol, Indy, and then, of course, Daytona before the run to the playoffs. Let's grab Stephen Thomas now, and we'll get his thoughts, the man out of West Virginia. Stephen Thomas, it's the booth, and you'll finish second. Your take of this race, man, a lot of bumping, a lot of banging. Is that what you kind of thought you'd see in an all-star race with that kind of bragging rights tonight?
Yeah, it's a super tight super speedway, man. So I figured it would be a mess. I think we put on a good show though, and had a lot of 2x2 for a lot of green flag laps. So it was a pretty good show, I think.
Steven, we've talked a lot about, super speedway racing. Obviously, Atlanta's kind of a hybrid, right? It is super speedway racing, but that tire wear is a big deal. Did that kind of maybe that little bit of tire wear and obviously the heat in the track as we got closer to the hotter time of the day in Atlanta, that maybe caused that little bit of a bobble between you and Steyer's off of 4 coming to the white that allowed Peacock to clear himself down?
I don't want to blame that on tires. Like you said, it definitely when they got hot, it wasn't so much the tire wear tonight. It was just when that right rear got hot, you could see trucks getting a little loose and feel it. But no, in that situation, man, I was just telling Joey that if he stays down on that red line right there and gives me a line that I know he's going to run, I was going to push him to that win. At least definitely not Taylor getting down and winning it like that. We Swim or Chrome should have won that race tonight for sure. But no, in that situation, like I said, if he just stays down and gives me a line to push, and that doesn't happen. I know he got loose off of 3, but he had it controlled way before Taylor got down, so I could have pushed him back up in there and kept that spot. But I mean, we'll take 2, 3, 4. We put on a good show tonight as a team.
Chatted up here again with the driver of Stephen Thomas. Stephen, you're on the outside looking in now, bud. I know you won that Daytona race finale or the season opener for the Cup Series on the Friday night program. Right now, you're on the outside looking in to make a run to the playoffs. What's it going to take in these final 4 races to try to do so and get that 23 up there?
Yeah, I was 21st tonight going in, and I had a lot of stage points in a second, so I should be in at this point, but definitely on the cut line.
You're 19th. You're 19th, but no
19th.
wins. Yeah.
No wins. Yeah, I was really wanting that win tonight. So yeah, we're just gonna do what we do, man. I've been up here talking to you guys in the booth quite a bit here lately, and I plan on doing that for the next 6 or 7 weeks. So I'm just going to be consistent, stay in the race until the end, and hopefully talk to you guys a bunch more.
All right, buddy. Always great hollering at you. Before I let you go, man, thank your sponsors.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys in the booth. Obviously, man, you guys do a great job there. I love talking to you guys. I love watching it every time after the race. I want to thank my team sponsors, my main sponsor, Jersey Smoke, the Family Handyman, Millie's Restaurant, A's Lawn and Landscaping, DSR Electric, and Dan and all he does for the league. Darren's Nail Gun Repair, Ladenko. I want to thank my teammates, Jeff Sickles, the owner of Swim, Adam Newton, Blake Lothian, Brian Chu, Joey Stires, heck of a run tonight. Jose was up there tonight. Justin White, Justin Lumpkin, Nate Maurer. I want to thank Brady and Cody for everything they do for the league, and everybody watching, guys. Appreciate it.
The man out of course, Elkview, West Virginia, almost heaven, West Virginia there. Stephen Thomas will get the number 2 spot. And now we go to the 3rd place man, and that is Joey Stires, the driver in the number 23 out of Mackinac, Illinois. He will put the DSR electric swim machine in the number 3 spot. Man, your take of this race, or Toyota, my apologies, Toyota. Your take of this race tonight, craziness, Joey. You were right there within the hunt of things. I think at one time I were calling y'all the mean green machines, and the outside looked like it was the way to go. Why make the move to the bottom there on that last restart? Would you have done things differently?
You know what? I was just telling Steven there. I had my teammates kind of lined up on the inside with me, and Jose was out there on the outside, but he had Joey Doucette, I think, behind him. And I was just kind of worried that, well, he's going to get left hanging. So if I just kind of ride with my teammates, maybe we'll hang out there and kind of just set sail and peace out, everybody. But definitely wasn't the case. We had an awesome restart to where I probably could have jumped in front of Jose, my teammate, and just controlled that outside line and let Steven and them come on the inside and we control both lanes. But of course, that didn't work out, and it's not what I wanted to do. And I thought maybe just ride on that bottom lane. Maybe we'll go for broke. They'll wreck or they'll be slow, and or we could just pull out. But yeah, looking back, I kind of wanted to jump outside because that outside line was definitely faster than that bottom line all day long. So hindsight, probably, I don't know. I would have loved to make the move to go up and run with Jose there, but we'll take P3 out of this crazy day for sure.
Joey, you mentioned, a lot of, Swim Chrome Alliance running up front together there late. You had 3 of the 4 positions on that final restart. Obviously, Taylor Peacock able to get by all 3 of you guys and get the win. What were, kind of like strategy discussions like for you all coming up on a restart, realizing, you had Steven, and Jose all up there in the top 4?
Oh, the communication between us all was key. I mean, we were just kind of talking strategy, where we should line up on the restart. Should we take top or bottom? And we were counting down our restarts, which I really think benefited us because there were a couple times where we were all lined up on the bottom and we cleared the second groove when we got into turn 1, just because we were all in sync and we got time down to where we could start going in that restart zone. So I think that was pretty key for the communication wise for us, and just the fuel strategy. We were kind of split on fuel strategy. A couple of us, that last stage there, I think there was a majority of us going to make it, but the caution came out, so it really kind of negated it all. But yeah, communication, we were just chatterboxing back and forth all night long. It was really critical to keep that track position, and just talking with one another what we were going to do really helped.
Joey Stires, as everything will shake in tonight, you'll be number 6 in the point standings, 56 back to the leader, but you have no wins. The Dash for Cash races coming up, Kansas next week, Bristol, Indy, Daytona. How desperate is it to at least get a win or just be consistently in the top 20 before things shake down? Because I think about 8 or 9 drivers are in the playoffs by virtue of wins. Can you get it done by staying consistent in the points?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I'm going to do my best to stay consistent. Getting a win in this series is so difficult to do. I mean, the talent in this league is just so crazy. And the last several weeks, I've really been struggling here qualifying. So I'll be starting in the back and then get caught up in a wreck. I won't be getting stage points. So that's really hurt me the last several weeks. So this last run to the end, I'm really going to try to correct that, do a little more practicing so I can start up front and get these stage points that are going to be crucial going into the playoffs here.
Man, always great catching up with you to wrap things up with the NRA Power Systems post-race interview wrap-up show. Thank your sponsors, and we'll see you next week at Kansas.
Yeah, I want to thank our leader, Dan Gobble and DSR Electric, for not only sponsoring the series, but sponsoring our team. And this Swim Sick With It Motorsports team is just outstanding, even with our sister team, Chrome Racing, and Adam Newton, Justin White, Brian Chu, Nate Maurer, Blake Loth, Steve Thomas, Jose Luis Rivera, Adam Newbert, Tom Lester. You guys are awesome to race with week in, week out. And I got to thank Millie's Restaurant and Catering, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Jersey Smoke Shops, The Family Handyman, Darren's Nail Gun Repair, Ladanco LLC, Toyota, Nazareth 360 Racing Network, everyone in the production booth putting on these broadcasts, our admin TJ in the admin booth making all the right calls tonight. Appreciate his input, and of course my girlfriend Bree and her son Reese for watching and letting me run on Monday nights.
On to Kansas next week. Thanks, buddy. There's a look one more time at the results and the all-star race in the books for the third time. In years past, obviously, Tyler Dittmer, your final closing thoughts. We've had the race, of course, at North Wilkesboro. We had it last year on the dirt at Eldora. I got to say, I really liked this all-star race being here at Atlanta. We have no dog in the fight whatsoever on who does scheduling, but I hope that the powers that be do listen to the broadcast booth. They did listen to the driver's reaction. Though there were some thrills and spills, I really think the all-star race was a phenomenal race tonight here at Atlanta. The build-up, the hype, the format, the finish, climactic. I hope that they bring it back for the All-Star race in Season 4 for the NASRA DSR Electric Truck Series and any of the other events that they have throughout the week for NASRA. Obviously, here's the schedule. Points events, Dash for Cash races, as Tyler hinted on when we came on the air. Kansas, Bristol, Indy 2.5 miles, but different than the 2.5 mile super speedway that is Daytona. Tyler, I think we're going to see some definitely gut-wrenching, last-minute daring moves to try to get a win on their tally before the end of the races, and then obviously the playoffs, and to try to make it into the Sweet 20 for the Dash for Cash.
Yeah, and you can do it different ways, right, Wesley? You can do it with strategy at Bristol. You can do it with aggression at Daytona. You can do it with strategy at Indianapolis. We've seen a lot of fuel mileage races happen at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the past in the family of NASRA series. I got to say, Wesley, you may not have any input on the schedule, but I do, surprisingly and unfortunately. And I love the All-Star race being at Atlanta Super Speedway, as I like to call it now, because I think it's very entertaining. I hate racing in it, but man, as a broadcaster, it is entertaining. It is amazing. It's action-filled. I prefer it over the dirt. I prefer it over the short tracks. I prefer it over Daytona and Talladega because we already go to Daytona and Talladega for playoff races or cutoff races. This is unique, and I would rather have this as the all-star race than maybe a playoff race, personally.
Producer Biggles, Dean Hopton, you Aussie. Great job producing. What do you think? You think the all-star race should stay in the hot Atlanta?
I think we may have lost our producer.
There you go. There you go, Dean.
There you go. All right, over to you, gentlemen. Back up in the booth.
I asked you a question. You're not going to answer me?
I did with the... There you go.
Oh, okay. I guess that means it was Beacon,
I'm
awesome,
saying.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. There you
That's
go.
how the
I
Aussies
kinda
work.
caught on to it. Yeah, caught on to it. All right. So there you go. The ayes have it. We all three vote. We should have the All-Star race again in Atlanta. If you're still in the chat box, yay, nay, whatever, what your thoughts are. They're available throughout the race live, obviously. And of course, we can go back and check it out in the responses and replies when we go off the air as well. The archives will be up. Next week, it's on to Kansas. And of course, again, they will be the Dash for Cash races. This has been a presentation on the NASRA 360 Racing Network, sanctioned by the North American Sim Racing Association. More details at NASRA-racing.com and on social media. For Cody Knott and Brady LaBeouf, for producer-director Big Dean Hopton, for Tyler Dittmer, this is Wesley Outland. Good night to the All-Star. Taylor Peacock, win 3 of the year here at Atlanta. We'll see you next week at Kansas.